Hey everyone, welcome to another Saturday, and you have reached the streaming idiots of the world here in Synthland. It's absolutely idiots. This is why I'm the biggest idiot in the world. Anyway, welcome to Synth Geekery, episode 186. It is a lovely Saturday here in Australia. Nice, sort of mild weather here today. Hope you're having a good day today. I know it's morning for some of you, and it's afternoon for some others, and it's really late at night for some others, or really early in the morning either. There is absolutely no one here yet, but we do have a full guest list coming in today. It's about 15 minutes before the real show sort of starts, so they'll pop in a little bit. Let me know if the microphone is working. And I got a bit of feedback from Nick on Sonic State saying that these babies that I've been using, a bit dusty actually, these little suckers, the Rode focus, everybody focus, there we go. These are the Rodes that I've been using. They are a little bit boomy sounding, a little bit roomy. I probably do need to put some audio treatment in this room, and I have been looking at that during the week. But if you like, does this sound roomy? How does this sound? I think this sounds okay. You probably hear every sort of squeak and noise coming out of my mouth. I do have the plug-in running on this from iZotope, the RX-D noise. I think it's voice denoise or something. Let me just double check what they do call it, because I don't want to give you the wrong name, because I always sound like a prat. It's called RX9 Voice Denoise. I was pretty close. RX9 Voice Denoise. So if you guys are wondering what it sounds like without RX9 Denoise, it sounds like this. Hi, this is without the noise, and you could probably hear the whole room. And now this is back on. So hopefully it does sound better with the denoise. Is it loud enough? It sounds better than normal, people were saying. Sounds more natural? Beautiful. Okay. Well, this microphone is an old one of mine. It's the Rode NT1A. So I actually used to do the streaming on this microphone from day one. And then I switched across to the wireless mic because I was kind of moving around the room. But I do have this connected, so if we do want to move around the room, I can plug this in and we can mute mics and things like that. So I'll keep that nearby if we need it. I did have a look at buying a mic this week, and I thought, no, I've got a perfectly good one here. We'll see how we go with it. If everyone seems to be happy with the sound of this microphone, if it's not too quiet and everything like that, then we'll roll with it. But speaking of rolling with things, Ian has already arrived. Isn't that nice of Ian to arrive? He can test his mic out if he likes. I might go to the double view of Ian and me, because there's only two of us at the moment. Ian's just setting up like a good lad. Look at him there. There we go. We've got some clicky sounds. And see how we go. Lots of stuff to do today. Lots of stuff. We are going to be talking about Black Friday. Hello, Ian.
Hello. Sorry about that. I didn't realise I was going to came straight into the show. I normally have the password thing, but hi everybody. So sorry about that. I was not quite prepared.
Now let me see if I've got the titles working. Let's see if this works. You should be on this one. Hey,
Yay!
Beautiful. Look at that. Okay. The wonders will never cease, as they say in the classics. How's your week been so far? Good?
Yeah, good so far. Sorry to see the death, not since related this, but so we're sorry to see the death of Wilko Johnson, the guitarist from, he was with, wasn't he with Dr. Feelgood, and then he was also with the Blockheads, people like that. No, I wasn't a massive fan. I was just quite sorry to see his demise, because he'd been struggling with cancer a few years ago, and there's a fantastic documentary about how how this doctor found him and cured him of cancer. But what else has been happening this week? I've been preparing for my EMOM session next Wednesday. So that's progressing slowly, shall we say. And sales have picked up through Christmas, but all small stuff generally this year. So, but how's things with you anyway?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a busy week this week for me. I had a lot going on work-wise, kind of thing. But that's life. Nothing sort of crazy, and then there's a lot going on during the week with this stuff. So I was kind of busy doing that. I have made a little dent into my Eurorack building caper. And it's been the longest project in the world. But I don't know if you can notice, just above my hand here, you can see a big pile of wood in the corner there, just there.
Yep.
Right? So there's 3 big, massive 1800 millimeter jobbers sitting there, ready for me to saw up and make into some side pieces, some top pieces, and I might even be able to move the camera around and see if I can show you guys some of the bits and pieces that I've got ready for this, because it's kind of interesting. It's going to be probably another 6 months of me being too scared to chop up some wood. No, it's more like I just haven't had the time. I don't know if the camera will go down, actually. It's gone to the wall. Oh, yeah.
Are you good at chopping wood?
You can't really see it. There's the wood there. I'll give you guys a look. There's the wood there on the other side of the room. And you can probably see the bits and pieces really, really subtly on the desk. It's just next to that coffee cup is a bus board, and just in front of the coffee cup is one of the rail kits. You can only just see it, and I can't move the camera down any more than that. So that's going to have to do. But anyway, you can see those pieces of wood. They're little bits of engineered wood. And one of the problems we've got here in Australia is there's a real bad problem with shortages of wood, and wood is really expensive. That's one of the reasons why I've had to hold off. And I actually wanted to have, we'll stop looking at wood, it's pretty boring. I actually wanted to have a nice piece of, I don't know, Tasmanian oak or, something fancy, right? And then I thought to myself, we're not even going to see it. It's going to be the sides. Hardly going to see it. You might see a bit of the top. So I might put something fancy on top. I don't know, Tassie oak on top. But for the sides, I've one of the problems with wood is you can't get really big wide pieces at the moment because it's so rare. I don't know why. The world has used up all the wood. Who knows? Maybe it's all those paper straws.
Didn't China buy loads of types of wood up? So
they're buying everything from us at the moment.
That's when the shortage started to happen.
Yeah. So So basically now we are kind of, I've just decided to go with this engineered thing. And as you can see, it's just tiny little bits of pine all kind of, I guess they're biscuited and glued together, I guess. It's engineered anyway. So when it stains up, it'll look nice. It's going to have to be it's my first one. So I'd rather bodge it up on a cheaper piece of engineered wood than do it on something really expensive. So, at the end of the day, that's how it's going to be. So I got that pretty cheap, so I'm quite happy with that. $150 Australian, so what is that, £75 for 3 pieces of 1800 by 450 millimeter. Pretty decent, I thought. So
yeah, it's the sort of thing that back in the day before we had lots of keyboard and synth bags, when I first started playing, I used to make my own wooden synth cases.
Wow.
I'm a wood butcher. I'm certainly a wood butcher and they were always sort of hacked together and then screwed and then painted black, so and they were made out of, ply and stuff like that. But I've still got one kicking around somewhere, and they were always sort of tailor made for whatever synth it was, like I did do one for the Korg 700 originally, and stuff like that.
Well, we've got 2 other people that have popped up while we've been talking about wood. Let's see if they've got all their microphones working. We'll start with, let's see if Henrik's working. Hey, look at that. The title works. I think he's muted, though. Muted, yep. You're muted. You're going to have to fix it. You're muted. Definitely not my end. I've got everything. Everything's working my end. So you're going to have to check that. We'll try Chris, though. Chris is on number there. Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Yes, you're working.
All right.
Hi, Chris.
Oh.
Beautiful. Tap your
Ian.
microphone for me. Nah. I think it's coming out of your cam. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
You might want to just change the audio interface there.
I
there you
will
go.
do that.
Good man. Because it does sound like you're in the room. Henrik's asking me to try him again. Let's give him another go. No, he's not? Okay. He's waving. Please, Don't embarrass me anymore. I'm an audio professional. No, I'm just kidding. I'm about as professional as a git. Anyway, so excellent. While you guys are getting your stuff together, let us know. Just sing on in if you want. Tap your mic if you want to try it.
Check 1, 2.
Yay! There we go. Look at that.
Tap, tap, tap.
And it's working too. Look, the little name tag, everything.
Amazing.
I know.
Oh, excellent. Nice
I
work.
don't know. What is this professionalism happening? I don't know. The world's going to end. Rands is being professional. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm really good. Hey, while I've got your beautiful face up there, I'm just going to paste into chat the StreamYard link. All right, and this is not for you, Chris, because you're already here. This is for anyone else who wants to join. It's in the chat. In fact, why don't we do the chat there? There's the link to StreamYard. Click on it. Download all the viruses. No, click on it and join with your camera and your mic. And you don't have to show your face if you don't want. You can just have the audio coming through. I've got enough room for 5 more people, so please don't be scared. Join on in. StreamYard link in the chat. Back to Chris. Nice to have Chris back. This time we've got Chris without having to kick him off. That'll be a nice
that's
thing.
always nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
This time I'm invited.
Well, you're always invited.
Usurping.
Yeah.
True.
Actually, it was good that we had to go through that with you, because now we've kind of come up with a solution, haven't we? So
Yep.
yeah, we can't really go wrong. The only person that's left to come in on the vMix call side of things is Andy, and I've just realised it is 3 minutes to 5 in the morning over there in the Bay Area in California, so we can't really be too picky with him. Okay, his alarm is probably about to ring,
doesn't it?
That's sometimes when I go to bed.
Oops. Oh, gee, in the old days. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that anymore. I can hear Hendrix got a really loud noise. Oh.
Is it louder than last week? It was louder.
It is really loud. I've just had to pull you right down, then you would have just killed everyone, I think.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I can lower it here. It's
still
at full
loud.
power.
It's still loud.
Okay, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's better. Keep going. Keep talking.
Okay, lower or higher?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that might do.
Is up or down?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's try the button. Now, did I spell your name correctly this time?
Yes, that's perfect.
Hooray! Oh. Yes. It's one of my... I just have this terrible thing of not respecting people's name spellings. Anyway, we'll get over it. How you been? You been good?
Yeah. It's been a fine week, except we didn't win over Tunisia. You did. So now we have to beat you and tonight France to move on. So.
Well, I'm actually very surprised that we didn't beat that we did beat Tunisia. You guys drew with them, didn't you? So, yeah, I really thought this year our team was pretty bad. The best Australian team we had was back in 2006 when we had Harry Kewell kick that winning goal to get us into the semis. It's the furthest that Australia's ever gone in the World Cup. We never got past the semis. We got knocked out by Germany, I think, after that. But ever since then, we've been pretty much knocked out in the first or second round. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we got absolutely walloped by France. I was actually surprised that we actually got a goal against them. That was pretty bad. 1 goal against France. So, please don't murder us. Yeah. But anyway, enough of soccer. Enough of football, as you guys call it over there. We shall persevere with the show. Looks like most people are here except for Andy, so it's nice to have you guys on. Don't forget, there's the StreamYard link in the chat. I'll post it one more time. Anyone who wants to join, you're welcome to. There's, we might even allow nudity. No, just kidding. Right, why don't we start with The first segment, God. Let's not do the jokes. Let's do these jokes instead. Cooking right into it, you spent all this time on something someone is going to listen to once on their phone speakers.
Story of my life.
When you realise how much equipment, how much money you spent on all the gear, how long you spent mixing and mastering that.
Well, at least someone is listening. It's better than no one.
True, yeah.
That is a good point. How many people have not listened to my album is actually something that I should be able to make money off of. Right, let's go to this one. Someone's hacked the NPC and have now put, is it Donkey Kong on here? I think it's Donkey Kong, isn't it? One of the original ones.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. I just thought that was really cool. I saw that and then I thought, gee, what about we go to here and check out this? So someone's already hacked the Polyhen tracker, and you can play some Nintendo classics on there if you like as well while we're at it. Let's keep rolling it on. Oh, what the heck is this? Is this some sort of mind control, MIDI control? I had no idea what this was. I just thought, I've got to show this. Does anyone have any idea what this is? Is this just art?
Looks like a piece of art.
It looks like it's AI generated.
It could be one of those AIs. You might be right, Chris. Yeah. There's some really interesting stuff coming out of the AI, isn't there?
I would say it looks like an album cover, but its height doesn't fit. Perhaps a long album. Long playing album. Bad.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
Bad joke. Yeah. But this is kind of like my ears are bleeding. My eyes have been like decimated by this power of the sun, and I'm also vomiting patch cables. Anyway, next one. This is the percentage of techno with a key change. I've done a graph.
Superb.
I'll give everyone a minute just to check that one out. If you can't find it, it's down the bottom, the 0%. No key changes. And that is since I was born, by the way. Right, next. Moog Music are bringing back the Behringer Model D.
Oh, that's going to push some buttons. That's going to push
It
some
certainly is.
I thought I already pushed those buttons on Sonic State on Wednesday.
You did great on Sonic State. It was
I
great.
triggered everyone with the Behringer Model D when they were talking about the new Moog.
But actually, about the Sonic State who spoke about your microphone, I would rather like your Rode microphone, because this one is Rode too, yes, but this one hides your face. It's video, it's not radio, so the picture is more important than the audio.
I can move it. I mean, it's on an arm. Hello, I'm back here. It's okay. I can move it. I'm just. I think this is kind of a nice spot for now, but I might need to play with it. This seems to be the.
Yeah, and what happens when you have to show something on another synth? You can't speak then. So I would say, yeah, that audio is not that bad. So use it.
Yeah, I'll do the room treatments, and in the meantime, I can do both. Look, if I need to move around, I can just turn this on. It's already connected.
Yeah, and if it's boomy, you can just lower the mids. So,
okay, good advice from Henrik there. Now, while we after advice, what is your favourite meme this week?
It's got to be the techno one for me.
Got to be
Ooh, okay.
the Behringer Model D for me.
Model D.
yeah.
Techno.
Yeah.
Model D for Henrik.
I like key changes in techno.
What's everyone saying in chat?
If I like them, they must be there somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, chatties, tell us what your favourite meme was this week. Do you want me to quickly? I'll just quickly show you guys them again. Where's my little screen? We can do it this way. So we had the Model D, the percentage of key change with the techno.
Yeah.
We had the vomit of patch cables. And
That's just scary.
no one went for this. No one went for the hacked Donkey Kong on the NPC. I mean, gosh.
No, and it looks like a picture
And no one went
top of.
It does. It looks like a bad Photoshop. You're
Yeah.
right. But no one.
Yeah,
went,
it does.
Henrik, no one went for the. No one went for the truth, and that's the problem.
Oh, that's true, and it's probably Photoshop too.
The truth is, there's the truth. Now, what are the chatties saying? Let's go back to them. We've got a bit of a mixed bag here. It looks like, I'm probably going to give it to the Moog Behringer. I'd say there's probably a few more that have gone with that one this week. All right, which is a little sad. It looks like Andy's alarm clock works because he's just messaged me.
Oh, yes.
He's going to be there in a tick, he said. All right, it's good news. All right, okay. What I might do while I actually have the chatties there is I might just break quickly and just say hello to them all because it's nice to have them. And a special mention to, obviously, the channel members. I'm just going to hit on participants, which tends to change. But just a quick skim through. We've got Azio Head, Half God, Half Beast. And we've got Kev Human, Mac, Martin Taylor, Prometheus UK, and Wagoo. Big hello to you guys. And a special mention to Future World Machine, who's one of our channel members. And obviously there's the video chatties that are on here as well. I did see Darren pop in and pop out. So it's nice to see Darren watching from afar. I don't know what he's doing. So nice to have everyone.
Sending messages.
Yeah.
Sending messages to
Moderating.
his followers. That's what he's doing.
Moderating, I think. Beautiful. Okay, let's get on to the next segment, which is news. We do have a lot, so hopefully we're all prepared for... That's not the right button. Hopefully we're all prepared for this. Yes, now, each week we don't show every single piece of news on this show because it is quite a lot. It is quite a lot. And just in case you weren't sure how much news there is, there's probably about, I'd say about, 25% of the stuff we show on this show is actually news that compared to the total amount. I just lost a picture. Let's go back to the picture again. Sorry. And then go like that with the title. Look at that. And the image doesn't work. Hey. Wonder why that changed again. Anyway, we'll fix that later. So, Sonicware have released a new Groovebox called the Lo-Fi 12. And I actually did not have any idea they were doing this. Looks like they've completely ghosted me, these guys. Probably because I didn't do a video for them. Anyway, it is a pretty similar Groovebox to their other two that they've got out there, the XFM and the Bass and Beats. You guys might remember those two. So it's the same form factor. I've got an XFM. The Lo-Fi 12 brings basically a sample sequencing machine to the table and gives it an old school 12-bit sound. So that's pretty much what it is. It does pretty much the whole same gambit as what the other two machines do in terms of the way the sequences work. It's the same logic and everything's behind it. But the flavor of this thing is definitely the flavor of that lo-fi 12-bit sound. Now, I do have a video lined up. I just want to get that happening for you guys. So we'll do that now. Right, so pretty much that's the video, just going through all the different settings and everything. Guys, $239 US. Looks like they're doing them in batches of 100 at the moment. I think the first 100 sold out within 24 hours. They are going to be doing another batch in towards the end of this month, early December. So who is keen on one of these? Anyone? Nope.
No, I'm not actually.
Actually, well,
I think it looks.
Let's get the reason why you're not. Let's get that.
Okay. I think it looks great. Do I need a 12-bit sampler? No, I don't really. So it's just. I'm sure I'd have fun with it for a couple of days, and then it would probably gather dust for me, really. But I can see, if that's your bag, go for it. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Although I like the way it looks. It looks great,
Yeah, it's got that not early 90s retro.
It has got that sort of retro look to it. Yeah.
It isn't a sampler. It is a sample player. I should make that distinction because they actually do have the sample track, which is coming out. People are starting to receive the sample track now from Kickstarter.
Now that's much more interesting.
That is a real sampler, that one. Chris, I know you're interested in this stuff. Let's hit your button. Where are you, Chris? I forgot what you are. I think you're on that one, aren't you? Yeah, there we go.
Hey. Yeah, well, the LF12's interesting, but it's the lo-fi music thing isn't really my stick. But it does look like it'd be a lot of fun. Does look nice. And I have an old 12-bit sampler in the cupboard somewhere. I think the interface on this one is considerably better than that thing. So I am familiar with that 12-bit sound.
What's your 12-bit sampler that you got?
Oh, if I tell you, then I can't do an NTS about it. No, I won't do an NTS. It's a TX16W. It's a Yamaha TX16W.
Nice.
Which is rare as hen's teeth for good reason. It's the most horrible user interface, but they did fix the user interface. Anyway, no, the LF12, I could imagine a lot of people really going for it if they really want that kind of that lo-fi sort of sound and that immediacy. And it's not an outrageous price either. It's just not really for me. I'm kind of grown out of that sort of 12-bit sound craving. So yeah, I've just been recently kicking back into the Electribe 2S and loving it. I feel guilty for not having neglected it for a couple of years.
And that's actually got a lo-fi thing on it too, so you can actually make that sound lo-fi.
Yeah. It's got the LF12 hits a sort of a niche area where I think people who haven't yet bought something kind of higher end.
Yeah.
And they're saying, this is it. This is finally my chance to get it. And then people who are just starting, they're going to go, oh, this sounds great. I'm playing in the shop and this is exactly what I'm looking to make. Bang. Purchase.
So I've been corrected.
There's always room.
It is a sampler, apparently. It is a sampler. He's shouting at me. It is a sampler, Rand. I bet you he's thrown his synth at the screen. I bet you he's gone.
Yeah, but he has to.
Yeah, like there's something. I don't know. Where is it? This one?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even work. Well, where's my sounds?
I know. I mean,
I know where's my sound. Here we go. He's just that's the noise.
I mean, Robbie is a fan because he had it on Pro Synthetic last night. I like the idea of the drunk track, the drunk tempo
drunk
thing.
Track?
Yeah. Ooh, that was fun.
There's a drunk. Yeah, that. I mean,
I don't need electronics to do that.
Yes, everything should
I don't
have
need
a drunk
electronics to do that.
every synth should have a drunk track. I think.
Oh, just get me. Just get me behind a few beers
I
and then
liked
behind
it.
the synth.
I liked it. It's not a thing I will purchase, but I can see people wanting it because of the 12-bit. But then again, I think I have 16-bit samplers, and they can I can play back samples as if it was 8-bit. And why should I need a 12-bit sampler when I have a 16-bit which can play 12 or 8 or even 2 bits? For me, it's not for me, but for some who doesn't have, who wants to begin and gets inspired by the lo-fi sound, it's good, because hi-fi sound, if we can call it that, can. It's hard to explain, but sometimes if you're limited, you get inspired by that. So being limited is a good thing for some people, not for all.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the button.
Chris, was that one of those embarrassing moments? You know.
Sorry, did I miss something? I think I've. Ooh.
Oh, we just
Sorry,
on Discord. We do you remember we wrote about embarrassing moments on the stream? So
Yes.
what I said, was that one of those?
Why are you guys
I
talking
don't know.
about embarrassing?
I was too polite.
Just to give you an idea of the form factor size, because people may not have actually seen an XFM or a Bass and Beats. So the Lo-Fi 12 is exactly the same size. And you can see next to the Polyend tracker, which is also a pretty small thing. They're pretty small. So my
I
hand,
like the design,
it's a couple of hands
and
wide.
that they are the same, all of them. I do like their design.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, we should hop on to the next.
You're muted, Chris.
Chris, you're muted.
I might. Oh, okay.
No, you are now. You're working now.
Okay, sorry.
Unmute. Did you
Probably
want to
me
say
just
something?
mucking around with technology.
Did you want to say something quickly?
No. You go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
Why don't we look about this? Okay, talking about things that don't cost us money. They have brought out an update. I had 1.5, and now their 2.5 is out. And there isn't a video or anything for this, so I thought what it might do is not do that. Is jump into Ableton and show you guys the real Supermassive. I have updated it. I updated it during the week after I was on Sonic State, and there it is there, 2.5. And what can I put through this thing? I can probably put... Let's mute some channels here. I don't think we need all that shit. All right, I'll put a strike fet through. Okay, so we did show you the strike fet last week, I think it was. So that's the new VST strike fet. I'm going to press play on some MIDI here. And that's going through the Supermassive. It's going to be a bit quiet, so I can bring it up a bit louder for you guys. What I might do is, I might just do it standard only, so you're just hearing Supermassive. And we'll try a couple of presets. Bring us back. I kind of like... There's a couple of things I like about this algorithm. It has a different sound to a Blue Sky, a Big Sky. or an eventide black hole or any of that sort of stuff. It has its own little uniqueness about it. And one of the things I do like about it is the way the filter works, the high pass filter works on the tail. It's actually kind of juicy. I like it. It's got an EQ thing in there as well. What about you guys? Have you had a chance to play with Supermassive yet?
I've just upgraded to this version. Not tried it since, but I'm a Supermassive fan. I love it. It's great, actually. I've loved it for a long time. Yeah, but no, I installed it. After Sonic State, actually, after Sonic Talk. But I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Yeah.
But because I didn't know about it until I saw it on Nick's show. But massive fan. I mean, if you haven't got it, you should just go and get it because you will use it at some point, and it's great.
Yeah. I didn't show you guys, but it does have presets, but it also has these modes, and there's a heap of them. And under each mode, it has presets too. So I thought I'd mention that as well. It is Supermassive. It's leading to its name. Look, I don't think it's a reverb or a delay for everyone. I think there's definitely muddiness that you could get out of this if you weren't careful. What about you, Chris? Are you kind of touching in the VST land yet?
Yeah. No, this is definitely one on my list to actually kind of get stuck into. And yeah, I got the email with the update about the 2 new things, and I haven't had a chance to try them yet. But yeah, I like Supermassive. It's definitely as you said, it's got a different sound, and I've got quite a few effects units now, and starting to sound a bit samey. So having a different one is always a good thing to have in your toolkit, particularly when you're having trouble doing a mix down, and the reason could be you've got too many of the same kind of effect giving you the same kind of flavor.
Right.
So sometimes you always want that. Oh, well, that's right. There's that VST I haven't tried for ages. Let's just play around with that. I'll just have a break, and usually that's where some cool inspiration comes out. So yeah, I will definitely try it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if I hear it soon from you. I know you. All right, Henrik. I know you like this sort of stuff.
I downloaded the new version, but I haven't played with it. But I do like the plugin, and I use it not a lot, but I do use it sometimes. I have some other favorite plugins for reverb and delays and such. But I do like this plugin. I do like all of their plugins. So it's really good. And this update, I don't know if it's much better. I believe it is, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
I have to say something about the Lo-Fi 12 that I forgot before.
Yeah.
And that was the video where they show all the places where you can play it. It's so funny. You really gotta watch that video. It's so funny. Yeah, that's what I had to say.
No worries. Beautiful. Good little plug. Okay, right. Next thing we've got is another bit of software. Geez, I'm doing some software. What's going on? You guys are going to have to slap me about the head a bit. This is pretty good, I have to admit. I was very skeptical at first when I saw these Mogofoga plugins come out. And now what they've done is they've given anyone who's purchased the Mogofoga kit a free new one called the Saturator 109S. And there's not a little video, it's a big video, but I'll show you guys a few things in here, and then maybe I'll quickly demo something that I've done myself.
The MF109S Saturator provides dynamic control over the unique drive circuit of the Mogofoga effects plugins. It consists of 2 sections, an envelope follower that modulates the drive, and a noise generator modeled after the Minimoog Model D noise generator.
All right, I am not going to show you this guy because this is a pretty long video. What I am going to do is I'm going to show you guys a real live demo. I've only just got this, so please bear with me. But here we go. I've got the 109S here, next to the TR909. This is the Roland Cloud TR909. And what we're going to do is we are going to turn the channel on for a start. That might help. Turn the strike fed off. We don't want that. And we should be able to hear just this. Right, if I turn this off, you should hear, where's my volume? There we go, nice and loud for you. Right, so this is doing nothing right now. If I turn it on again, you'll hear some noise and you'll hear the envelope follower kick in. Watch this. So you can see the envelope follower lighting up when it picks up that kick, right? So it'll bring noise in on the kick, watch. Right, you can turn that off if you don't want it, or you can make it, or you can reverse it. Right, so the other thing too, it's got white and red noise, and then it's also got a filter here. And the other cool thing about this is the filter can be changed from low pass to band pass to notch to high pass. So let's do a high pass. All right. And you can change the amount of envelope follower and sensitivity and things like that, and that will pick up on the audio signal coming in. So I can see some really, really cool things that can be done with this. There's a whole bunch of connectivity here that you can do with it. I'll just bring this closer in so you guys can see. So the connectivity here is driver mount, envelope amount, noise, envelope amount, and tone. And then these can be connected between each of the Mogofogo pedals. So that is free if you've got the Mogofogo kit. If you don't, it's still the same price. So technically, it's still free. So the same amount of gear that you had when I first announced it, you had the low pass filter, the delay, the phaser, the I forget half the other stuff, cluster flux, all these sort of things were in there, like the flanger and things like that. So someone said, can I hear it without the noise? I did play it without the noise. So do you want me to do it again? I think it was over your head. So just, there's no noise, right? And if I turn it off, you'll hear the kick being less. I'll just go back to here so you can see what I'm doing. That kick is more amplified now.
It's just fattening it a bit,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
a saturator. Okay? So you can make it less sensitive. And you can even reverse the envelope. So that would be useful with the noise thing, but you can change the follow rate. So it makes it thicker, and that makes it kind of, or slower and faster, and the amount, of course, as well. All right, I'm really sick of that TR909 drum beat. Sorry, it's really doing my head in. The best TR909 drum beat ever! Anyway, so that is the saturator. It's free with Mogofogo's VSTs. It's $149 US. Any comments about that? It's free. I just said it's $149. That's if you don't have it, I should say.
Right. Well, I don't have the Mogofogas. But for free, what's not to like, really? You know, I wouldn't pay $150 for it, but you know, as a free gift on Black Friday weekend, spot on, fantastic.
Just so you know, I've got them all here. They do give you the if you've got an iLock. This is one of the things that lots of people were complaining about. I have an iLock, so it's no biggie for me. So you get a filter, you get a ring modulator, a phaser, a delay, a Murph. I don't even know what the Murph does, so don't ask me. Frequency box, which is like another oscillator, and the saturator. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Mogofogas for $149. So what's that? 149 divided by 8. It's, what is that? Around about less than $20 each, right? It's pretty good. Pretty good. There you go. Anyone else want to make a
And
comment?
the quality of the quality of Moog's software architectures are really, really good. I've got the iPad apps, and you can now they've ported them to desktop now for free, which was incredible when they did that, and they're really, really great. You know,
They are. I'm just putting the StreamYard link in for the chatties if they want to join. I will keep an eye on the computer over here, and if anyone wants to join, there's no one in there yet. What was I going to say? So I, as you guys know, I've got Mogofogers, the actual real ones, the ones that cost a fortune. And there's actually a few things that annoy me about them. One of the things, like the MF101, which is the filter, is noisy. It's a noisy filter. It's a bit like the chorus on a Juno. It's got a hiss in it, right? The Mogofoger MF101S, which is the VST version, doesn't have any noise. And it's very high resolution, and you can't really pick up any aliasing or anything crazy like that in it. And when I was playing the Stratfet before, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was the Mogofoger running on it. I'll just bring up the graphic again so you guys can see. That was the MF101S running on it there. And you can see that I've automated, there's a good word for it, the cutoff filter. You can see that it's just literally just moving on its own. Look at that. No hands, mummy. So you can see that spinning around. And all that will do, with a bit of fun, and it does all that beautiful, because Stratfets don't have filters, right? So there you go.
Yeah, the Moog filters are lovely. It's
Beautiful.
yeah, and does anyone remember that there was a old Moog plugin that was like an auto filter, and it actually had a step sequencer in it that did step sequencing.
I think I've got it somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't think it works anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was ages ago, but the Moogafug it's interesting how they've stuck with only one form factor, and they've got their iPad related software, which is really, I guess, what they're concentrating on, and then they've taken these physical, things of lust and envy, I guess, and putting it into the computer world. I'm just wondering if we're going to be getting that old kind of auto filter sequencer thing coming back again, because if that came out, I'd be interested in that. Because
I reckon it'd be
I've
also
always
cool.
wanted that kind of thing.
I reckon it would be also cool if they brought out the 251, which is the CV tools that they had with the Mogofogers, right? Because if they're like doing these virtual plugs and stuff with these Mogofogers, I reckon that would be really handy. There's things like slews and LFOs and all these kind of cool things that are in there. And if they're emulating their electronics properly, that would be cool, because there's some nice stuff you can do. You think about the Voyager, right? When they brought the Voyager out, it was kind of like their flagship monosynth, and it was kind of I think it was one of the last things that Bob Moog had some sort of touch to engineering wise, and it was kind of modern for a monosynth, and it had that sort of spaceship-like interface on it with. I think you could buy an electric blue one or a gold one, and all this kind of real funky sort of stuff going on. The Mogofogers were really cool hanging around that at the time because of all the CV interfaces on it, and they're all 1/4 inch jacks, right? So that's where that whole world was kind of really busy. And then they brought out the little fatty and the slim fatty, which was the rack-mounted version of the little fatty. And so you could actually rack mount your Mogofogers. They actually sold rack ears for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it only seems like yesterday to me that they were doing this, but it was like friggin' 20 years ago.
Don't remind us. Yeah, no, it's amazing how it's taken this long for them to come back. Software in the PC software and Mac software sort of world.
It is, yeah.
But I guess that's where they just followed the wave of analog hardware synths.
Yeah.
And they would have been nuts not to, because they really needed to try and be on the vanguard of that. And props to them, they did a good job. I just wish they'd brought out when they brought out the Sub Fatty, that they'd made it much like the Sub 37 and just skipped the Sub Fatty, because I ended up buying the Sub Fatty, and does anyone even know that exists anymore?
Yeah. They were really cool. And they actually do things that the Sub 37 can't. So you've got yourself a good synth there. Don't worry. They're good. They are limited, but they're limited by design. They did it on purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Because don't forget, they were still selling the Voyager then.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was the only thing affordable at the time from Moog. So I remember when I bought it, I was the first person to buy a Moog synth in Australia, they claimed.
Really?
And I thought, okay, I'll go with that, guys. Because they just.
I'm pretty sure Alan Parsons might have bought one in the 70s.
In Australia. But they I think it was the first one they sold in their music store. They thought it was a big
really
deal.
Funny, actually.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. We should move on to the next one. What about we just show some hardware? Yes, people.
Yes.
Hello, I would like to introduce a new module to the Instro range. This is the Karn, which is an 8HP all-analog mixer module, or utility mixer, or utility processor, quad utility processor, depending on how you configure it within a system or what you plan to use it for. I didn't set out to design a mixer module, but we've ended up in that direction, which I'm pretty happy about. It's turned out to be an extremely useful, versatile module that you can see I've got 3 in this system set up, although this one's not actually being utilised in this particular patch. But I have these dotted about my own performance systems now, and
I'm gonna pause it there. I mean, that's an hour and 30-minute long video, and we're not going to go through it. But let me guide you guys through it. I mean, there's just sort of screen capture that in your brain. Instro are based in Scotland. Awesome bunch of modular guys. And I'm starting to fall in love with some of their stuff, especially the Loop Barg. The Lubarg.
Yeah, me too.
That's the thing that you can see that looks like it's got the 2 tape heads just below the bottom left-hand corner of his head. You can see it just there. Look, 2 round circles on the bottom row. But yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We are going to talk about this, the Karn. Is this all Gaelic stuff? These all Gaelic words? I'm pretty sure it might be.
Yeah. I believe they are.
And basically, what this is a 4-channel mixer on steroids. And I'll run you guys through it, and you'll probably think to yourself, why is it all kind of angled? It's quite clever because each one of the channels does a different thing. So it becomes, you can actually normalize this so it does work as a normal 4-channel mixer in your Eurorack. But at the same time, you can actually unnormalize it and have it so that each one of these channels does their things that they're supposed to do. Like, for example, you'll see a crossfader one on the far right-hand side. You'll see the crossfader symbol just below the slider, and there's a CV connection on that. So you can use it as a crossfader between 2 inputs, which is really cool. So you can crossfade CV and audio, by the way, because these do have VCAs in them. And it has normalized stereo output with panning control on each channel and a level control for the whole thing. But if you flip the module over, which I can't do here, I think there is a bit where he does that in here. I'll find it in the video anyway, he flips it over. And on the back of the module, here we go. On the back of the module, you can see that up the top, there's 2 jacks. And that means that you can actually they're both stereo linked, so they're TRRS, stereo ones, whatever they're called, the balanced ones, right? You can actually connect up modules, which you saw in his rack before, without having to connect them from the front. So if I go back to that view where he shows his whole modular there, and he doesn't show his head. Where is it? Come on, show it again.
Hello, I would like to introduce a new...
Where it doesn't show his head. Anyway, it's gone. I've lost it. But in that video, you'll see he's actually got 4 of those the Karn modules in, and they're all plumbed underneath behind, and they actually come with L-shaped jacks too. And I mean, obviously longer ones if you need them, but they come with them. So going back to the graphic, this is going to be a cool module. I mean, it doesn't take up a lot of space HP wise either. This is the cool thing about it. So you've got a 4-channel mixer. Each one of those mono inputs can be stereo panned. Plus, you've got all these cool little VCA and CV tools in this, like I mentioned before. The crossfader. You've also got the second to the right, the 3rd channel is a attenuverter, which you can control a positive or a negative amount, and you use the full slider. Now, I should mention to everyone who loves nerdiness with Eurorack, these are all logarithmic proper sliders that you see in mixers that will have not a linear curve. They will actually have the proper audio curve that all the sort of high-end mixers have. So you will get a curvature to the slider movement, which is actually cool. And you can use that with LFOs and things like that. So that kind of VCA manipulation within your Eurorack is going to be a cool thing. So just so you guys know how much they are, they're £379, so a little on the pricey side, but most of Instruo's stuff, by the way, is kind of on the high end. He does make very good quality gear. He goes meticulously, I think the guy's name's Jason, if I'm right. He goes meticulously into what sort of electronic components he selects for his gear. So he doesn't just go the cheapest thing from AliExpress. He gets decent quality sliders, like I mentioned before. Any of the op amps and DA converters and things like that he uses in his gear is all sort of high end. He's all researched properly. So you get a decent sound. Like, they've got a really nice sound, his modules. So there's a thing now. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but you buy modules, some of them sound a bit rusty and a bit crappy, and some of them sound really nice. And there's a real difference between what hardware they're putting in these things. So yeah. Anyway, any thoughts on the Karn? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correct. I think he said Karn, didn't he?
Karn on does Linus a module.
I'm going to go with Henrik because I know he likes the Instruo stuff.
Yeah. The CVNs for each channel controls the panning. I don't really. I don't like that. I would rather like that they control the level, or if there was an option, so you could control the level of each channel like that.
Each channel's different, Henrik.
Yeah, I know that, but you could use it as a mixer. That's possible. And if you use it as a mixer, and then I would like that CV option to control the level instead of the panorama. So that option is missing, I think. But as a utility module for controlling CV, it's good for that. But as a mixer, I would have loved if the levels were CV controllable.
Yeah, I think
one of the channels is. I think each channel has a different function. So the CV on the first channel controls the pan, as you said. The second channel, it controls the level of the mixer. And the third one, it controls something else. And the fourth
I don't
one's
think
something
so.
different again. Oh, okay. I'll have to watch the video again.
I did download the manual and look there too, and I couldn't find anything about controlling anything else than the panorama.
Thank you to David, by the way.
On the last channel, they call it the crossfade, but it's still kind of a panorama.
Yeah. Sometimes they make a error in the videos when they're demoing it.
Yeah.
It is just one,
but-
it's usually one take.
There is that option, Henrik, on there where you can switch between normal and
Yeah, but that's not the same. It's you can have normal and full normal each channel with those dip switches, and the dip switches below are for the having the limiter on or not on.
yeah, which is actually pretty cool. We didn't talk about that, did we? The limiter's actually cool.
Yeah. You can you can get 60 volts out of it if you don't limit it. So it would be good to put the limiter on. Yeah.
You could run a telephone exchange on that voltage.
You probably you can also melt some copper wires while you're at it too.
Yeah. One
Arc
last thing
welding
about
in your Eurorack.
one last thing about it was that I spent about half an hour on researching this, and then suddenly I saw the Lupart, and
Oh yeah,
I spent a few hours on watching videos on that, and I want that.
there's a guy in Australia selling one at the moment, and I was asking him at the price, and he was like, yeah. So basically, in Australia, they're over $1,000 to buy brand new. For a Eurorack module, that's getting into pretty unique land. There's not many modules that are over $1,000, but that's a lot of money for just one module. That it pretty much is basically a 2-voice looper system. So yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then again, they are pretty cool what they do. They're pretty unique. So I don't know. Maybe one day I might find one a bit cheaper and grab one. Does anyone have one? Do you have one, Andy? Do you have the
One what? Sorry.
The Instruo looper thing? I'll show you what it looks like.
I actually was going to buy some Instruo stuff. It was on sale at Perfect Circuit, but I opted for stuff. But I do like their gear.
That's it there. You can see it sort of magnified down the bottom where it says processing CV. There's a little arrow pointing to it. That's it there. The Lubud, I think they call it. Lubud.
I like their polyphonic voice that they have.
Yeah.
And also they made a thing that, Plant Wave that makes I made a couple videos of Plant Wave stuff where it's galvanic response from plants and from your skin and stuff for controlling notes.
I haven't seen that.
And they make a thing that a guy used with some fungus and stuff on a portable modular kit. So they also have one of those galvanic modules as well. So
yeah, so I could chuck my feet up there, and yeah. All right. Bit of toe jam. Boom boom. We should see what the chatties think. What do you guys in chat think about Instruo as a Eurorack manufacturer? You don't hear a lot of Instruo stuff, and I think we should give them a bit more love.
I think we should actually. I do have a couple of things to say about it. If I don't know if people know, but I also design and build Eurorack modules. I'm nowhere near these guys' levels, or anyone out there for that matter. But if I was designing a module, this is kind of the way I would do it. The insane amount of features that he packs into one of these things, and of course the really pretty brass nuts and all that kind of stuff. That's right up my alley. It's the kind of thing I do. So yeah, I didn't know much about these guys until probably the last year. And yeah, I generally got put off them because they're just so expensive. But now I'm beginning to see what the whole culture of that company is all about. So I kind of understand a bit where the money goes. And yeah, I'm starting to get a bit more interested in them now. But yeah, no, I just like the philosophy, and it is impressive, this module, the way he's packed in that much features in 8 HP.
That's what I like about
Which
it.
is something I go on all about all the time. So if I didn't say good one, Instro, I would be probably remiss of me not to. I'll be being disingenuous. So
Yeah.
I got to congratulate him for that.
Yeah.
And when you consider that there's it's one module and they've got those different functions that you can get out of it. I mean, he's got at least 4 VCAs in there. That's a lot of circuitry in a small amount of space. So if you kind of put together you get 2 modules for that amount of money, you know, one doing one thing, another thing, and that'll take up 16 HP, or you can get one of them. I'm just saying, yeah, it's quite clever the way he's packed it in.
I think he's made use of a couple of ideas that, like you said, would usually take a couple of different modules to do, and given it the ability so that you either can use it or you can just use it as a normal VCA mixer, right? So you've got the choice of using it for the utility side of it, which is like a CV type tool, times 4, plus you can, if you want, I think there was that option where you could half of it as a 2-channel mixer and still use half of it as a CV tool. So it's like so many
because of all the
possibilities
normals.
just with that. Yeah, just with that flexibility.
There's dip switches and stuff. Yeah, it's quite, as I said, it's very much a next level type thinking of a module design, which is kind of now starting to really go into that sort of electronics purist type area. That it's an interesting direction to go.
Yeah. So some people might
They make
be
good use of
asking-
sliders too. I like the modules that have all the sliders. They even make
I love
utility modules that are just sliders.
Yeah, well, we made
I
a comment
love
about
sliders.
that. They're really high-end sliders that we made comment about them before. They're non-linear. They're proper audio level sliders, which has got the feedback curve as you would expect on like a proper mixer as well. But running it as a crossfader and then automating that with CV, I mean, that's cool. Automated CV crossfading. I mean, how many modules can do that? Plus VCA mix. It's you guys have got to think outside the square. It's not a mixer. It's not a 4-channel mixer. It's a mixer on steroids, as I said at the start. It's a bit.
I think
Yeah, go.
I think he summarized it, didn't he, when he said at the beginning, I didn't set out to build this module, but that's what I ended up building. It's that kind of adventure.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. Nice to have you, Andy. We're in the middle of news, but I thought I might just quickly pop over to you and say hello. Welcome
thanks.
out of Slumberland.
Yeah, well, I actually did get up a little bit earlier, but I had tech issues again. Yeah, you know how it goes. So,
Yeah.
but I do have one of my new toys behind me, Black Friday special.
Yay! You got one. Yeah.
Yeah. And the actually, is it running something? Hold on a second. Let's see if this is going to work or not. Maybe not. There's some noise art there.
He's been staying up all night making this, guys.
Well, I did stay up a little late playing with it. That was just some crap I left on there. It wasn't anything really good, but just fun. Also got a little one of these little Ploytech MIDI powered synth in a box things.
Oh, those things, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to playing with this because it was cheap, perfect circuit. I also ordered the H-Pi one, the little synth in a plug. It's literally the smallest synth ever made. Metal plug with in and out kind of thing.
We might come back to you with that stuff because we are going to talk about Black Friday stuff after the news.
Yeah,
and that's probably a good
problem.
segue for that. So yeah, nice to see you spending. Why don't we head on over to the next product, and that's this. Yes, unfortunately, our computers have chewed up all of our favourite synths and spat them out as VSTs. Thanks very much, Cork. No. And look, at the end of the day, you got to remember that all of those synthesizers that they just showed then, that they've just added now to the Korg collection, were all digital. They were all digital. So there's no problem at all in my mind for them making VSTs out of this stuff. Not at all. I don't have a problem. In fact, I actually think it's cool that the microkorg's in there, because technically it's a different synth engine to what they've got in their collection. The Electribe is a bit of cool fun, and it's nice to see the Chaos Pad, which is also a digital effects unit, in there as well, because then you can now use the Chaos Pad virtually in your DAW instead of it taking up desk space here. It'll do just as good a job. You can process audio from your hardware synths into it, so it still does the same job. And a lot of people out there that probably think to themselves, "Wow, what am I going to get in the Korg collection?" Well, you're getting an absolute shite load of stuff in there. It's around about $299 US for the whole thing, but you can buy each one of those things individually. These prices that I'm giving are Black Friday prices, by the way. I'll tell you what they go up to. For $99. I'm going to go to you, Ian, in a sec, because you're a Korg man.
Sure.
After the sale, they will go up to $399 for the whole thing. When I say the whole thing, there's a massive amount of stuff in there. There's the M1, there's even ARP stuff in there. There's lots of famous Poly 6, lots of famous stuff in there. Right. Starting with Ian, because he's the Korg man. What do you think of the Korg collection?
Okay, here we go again. I'm not a massive fan. I mean, to be fair, most of these synths I have got as iPad apps, so I was never that bothered about buying the Legacy collection. I mean, there are some great synths in there. Like I said, the M1s. There's a Triton. There's a Prophecy. Adding the Microkorg. I mean, if you're gonna add any sort of, shall we say, exceptional synths, I mean, I've got a Microkorg and I love it. It's a great synth. It's sat just above my head. I was very surprised to see there isn't already a Korg VST for it. You have to use a third-party app for about $8, I think, or $6 was it, something like that. I think Korg's pricing structure on this is slightly off beam, to be honest. I would have preferred to see something like a DW8000, a PS3300, something really classic, even a Delta or Sigma, really, something else, not these. I can't see the Chaos Pad. I've got a real mini Chaos Pad here, which I love and use that all the time. I know that currently it's hard to get hold of the bigger version of that in hardware, and that's, I think, the chip shortage thing. I don't believe it's discontinued. I just think they're just having trouble, like a lot of companies. So if you're desperate for that, fine, but it's for such a tactile thing that I'm not so sure that it would have been my choice to put it in this collection, really. Having said that, I spent some. I know we're going to talk about Black Friday, but I bought the Arturia V collection, which is the same price as this, and you get an awful lot more for your buck. I think I should leave it there.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not. I think the pricing structure is a bit off. The only other thing I would want to say is that, like when Moog did their iPad apps that you could then port to desktop, I think Korg should have done that. I mean, and it's fine to make it that payable. It's a chargeable thing, but the apps that I've got, the Poly 6 and the M1 and all of those apps that I've got on the iPad, because we on M1 and M2 Mac use that sort of architecture, maybe Korg should be looking at doing something like that. I don't think there will be, but I'd like to see more synth manufacturers doing that.
Right.
Other opinions are available.
Yeah. I'm just telling Andy that he's up. He's fixed it now. His up was going through.
Sorry.
That's right.
So did I.
Okay. Anyone else interested in VST Land for the Korg collection? Anyone got it?
I've got only the Poly
got-
6 plugin.
Yeah. What are your thoughts of
Really
the Poly
old one.
6?
Oh, I loved it. I was one of the first proper VSTs that I got, so I used it for quite a few tracks in the early days. And yeah, but I have to admit I never considered the Korg collection. Well, actually, that's not true. I would like to get the M1 plugin, so that is on my list. So yeah, I probably should look at something like this. But really, yeah, I don't really want a heap of Korg stuff because I've got quite a lot of Korg stuff actually in the room. So, but yeah, no, as I said, I really liked the Poly 6. Thought that was pretty cool. And you need an M1. So sounds from that period are just iconic. So need to have them.
Yeah, you do.
The GoPro just switched off.
I'm gonna be a little bit controversial here. I don't know. I kind of think Korg could have done better with the price from $3.99 down to $2.99 during Black Friday, and I'll tell
Yes,
you why.
definitely.
These guys are doing their V collection. I just clicked on the link here. 50% off. Right. If you look at their max price, which is the V collection 9, it's $2.99, same price as the Korg collection. Right. There's a lot more in that than you get in Korg. I'll show you what's in it in a sec. And it's gone down from $5.99. So, this is the thing. This is one of the reasons why I haven't bought the Korg collection, because I just find it a little on the nose with the price. Because what they're really good, but what they give you for the money is not competitive enough compared to what else is out there. There's companies like Cherry Audio, UVI, Arturia.
Cherry's good.
They're bringing stuff that are better than what Korg are bringing for the price.
The Arturia deal as well. If you've already bought one item, you don't need to buy more than one. Because I've got, I think I've got I can't remember which one I've got anyway. I had one of them, and I got the whole thing for $199 euros, equivalent in pounds. I do believe if you've already got one of the earlier V collections that you get it for $99. So the Arturia deals generally in for great. I mean, to be fair, I did need some convincing, and it was Kent Spong who demonstrated it to me on his show.
Check this out, Ian. While you're talking, just let me scroll through that. Check that out. That's what you get. Yeah,
I know. I mean, I've installed them all, and I've not had time to play with any much apart from the CS80. I'm going to have so much fun over the next probably year. I mean, I'm really interested in the blue Blueclaw, can't say it, the synth
easel.
The easels. Because that's the synth. If I had the money, I would like to buy, in hardware. So I'm excited by that. I just wasn't that excited by the Korg. It should. I hate to say it, but it should be a bit cheaper. Better value for money, shall we say?
Yeah, I think so too. Jay, Henrik, send me the link again through the thing. I didn't. It's just. There we go. It's coming up now. Oh yeah. I've already seen that. We won't worry about that. I thought about putting it on the news. It's just one of their little things that they do. Oh, look, we're still building shit, but we can't buy it. Meringa, we can't buy it.
Right, okay.
Oh,
stop showing us crap.
I wish they'd stop doing that.
Stop showing us
crap
crap
stuff
and stop.
that's 5 years
Start telling
away.
us when we can buy your stuff. I'm sick of it. I know
The
you've got chip
Soul
shortages, but just
the Soul Sense. I did videos on them.
Vaporware. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So real quick, Ramsey, on the Korg thing before you jump.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. So I bought the collection 3. What about 3 months ago? Whatever it was when it was on sale. And I figured since I'm already a customer with collection 3, I log in, I should get a deal on collection 4. It didn't change my price at all. It still says $299, which is kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
So-
something about that. If you've bought Collection 3 between it, and it was quite a short period of time. I noticed it on the website that you'd got it free, but the deadline seemed really quite short. So if you bought it in probably last month or something like that, don't quote me on that. But you
I
got
mean,
it
$99
free.
for like
But if
4
you bought
extra
it
cents
before-
isn't terrible, but it's
No.
to not give me anything is kind of shitty, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is.
I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe I did
Do
something
better.
wrong, but I did log in and I have registered 3. So 4 should be, as with most companies, they should be smart enough
Yeah, it
to
should be
auto calculate
free. It
that
should
and
be,
do
yeah.
like a pro rate or something.
They definitely need to do better.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Which is
Yeah.
what we're already saying. Right. We need to move on because the next thing what we're going to do is a Kickstarter project, and it's this thing. It's done by some people that you guys have already heard of. They make the organelle, which I think Ian's got one of those. Ian, you're going to run with this in a sec.
I have.
I just thought,
Yeah.
just for your viewing pleasure and everyone else's viewing pleasure, I'll play the video. It's only 3 minutes long or whatever. We probably won't play the whole thing, but here we go.
Introducing the 201 from Critter and Guitari. It's a music machine for all situations. With a built-in speaker and battery power, the 201 has you covered if you make music in the park, living room, studio,
Darren's park bench.
Yeah.
woods, kitchen,
It's a cool kitchen.
bed,
Victims.
subway, bookstore, patio, river, wherever.
I think I might have to cut this before they start saying upskirt and right. So what do we got here? We have got time to go to Ian, but just quickly, it's $2.95 for those who are asking in the chat. Ian, I'll let you tell us about it because I know you're pretty keen on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I must first of all say it is not an organelle, but I think they've done this partly because of the chip issue. So, and it is going to be made. It's already hit its target, so which is really great. The organelle, as we see here, okay.
Yay.
So I wonder why they called it the 201, which I think is a bit of an odd name, but because there isn't a 101. But anyway, it's a 201. It's got 6 sound engines, chip tunes, and all sorts of things in there, apparently. And my main thing was what it doesn't have compared to the organelle. Now, if we talk about price, an organelle is not cheap. It's the sort of UK price is about £600. I managed to find one from a dealer over in Sheffield, not Sheffield, in Liverpool for 480. So it's not the same thing. It's and because they class it as a music synthesizer computer. The processor is not quite the same as the organelle and things like that. You can't sample into it. My main concern was there was no screen, because I find, although it's a tiny screen on the organelle, it is so useful for when you're trying to do things. And that could be a bit of a no-no to some extent. There is a USB-C port. I don't know whether we can take visuals out of that, because the organelle has got a HDMI output, so you can literally connect it to a screen and just turn it into a computer, stick a mouse in it and stuff like that. No
Probably
Wi-Fi.
Probably not, I would say.
No, I think probably not as well.
Yep.
So it has its limitations. No battery option. And we have to say the Wi-Fi thing, because the Wi-Fi dongle comes with the organelle, and I'm using that the main way to actually get things in and out of the organelle. Whereas obviously with the 201, you're going to do the USB-C will be the only way to get stuff in and out. I don't think standard organelle pure data patches will probably work properly with it. You're going to have to reconfigure them to some extent, because there's different things going on there. But having said that, if this is, you know, a toe in the water type thing, you know, 250 euros, dollars. Yeah, yes. So 245 pounds, 295 euros, probably the same in dollars.
Yep.
My concern was, you know, after the Kickstarter, how much is it going to be? Because if they put it up 100 euros or $100, then I'd probably save up and try and find an organelle.
I'd probably want to add to just a couple of things you mentioned, because I just want to sort of with the processor. It's an ARM Cortex A7, 900 megahertz, so it's different to the organelle. It's got 512 meg of RAM on board. Look, it won't be compatible, I don't think, with patches unless they do some sort of wizardry, because it has it's using the public domain pure data and force musical programming environments. So you can actually, you know, you can hack this thing if you want to. But it does, so the engine itself that comes with it is chiptune style waveforms, analog style filters, drum samples, and there's also some physical modeling instruments in there as well, which you heard on the video, and the human voice vocal synthesizer, which sounded a little bit like a VP330. So I kind of feel like that
sounded like the Singing Monk.
That little sort of
remember the singing.
Grouping, but you know what I mean? That grouping, I haven't seen a grouping of those types of instruments in one box before. Because that's just think about it. So you've got chiptune, analog filters, drum samples, physical modeling, and a vocoder. That's very interesting grouping. Yeah. And so that I think have to say going to be its quirkiness there.
I mean, obviously, I've had the organelle for about 3 weeks now. I think its strengths, and I suspect the strengths of the 201 will be the same thing, is weirdness. So if you want a conventional type synth, this probably isn't the instrument for you. But if you're you're just interested in doing unusual things, I think this will probably start to sing. Yeah, because certainly the organelle. I mean, my plan for my EMOM on Wednesday is just to use the organelle. I'm going to sort of
the guy that's on the far right hand side will probably buy it. Yeah. The head wobbling guy.
Yeah,
he'll probably buy it.
I think, I think the Cleary. I mean, they're a small company working out of Brooklyn in New York. So I think this is they might be doing this purely and simply because of the chip problems, and I think the chip problem for them might be to do with the visuals, because they do a thing called the IZ, which is a visual synth. It's completely out of stock. So, and
that was also a Kickstarter too.
What did you say? What did you say about the battery? I thought it had batteries in it, because they're using it with.
I put it in the chat. It actually has 3 AA batteries in the bottom if you want.
Yeah, I thought
the 201.
Yeah,
I missed that.
Battery powered. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Being that Cortex, that wouldn't be chewing much. The the A7, they don't chew. They are really low powered. I mean, what's in the Behringer, clone of the SH101 had an ARM Cortex A3 in it to power everything that was in there, and didn't hardly even register on the the voltage meter with all the analog gear that was in there. So those are really low powered and really plentiful to get chips at the moment. That's probably why they're doing it.
Yeah, and it's probably doing Linux because the organelle's on Linux. So I'm assuming they're using the same operating system.
Pure data and forced. How you say it? Sorry,
Faust.
Where's Brooks?
Faust.
Faust. Yeah,
it's Faust. Yeah.
I failed it.
So I think think if like I say, as a toe in the water type thing, it's probably worth backing if you fancy this sort of thing. They will produce it because they've already said that they've already stockpiled some of the parts, and they're probably already making them as we speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I heard that the chip shortage stuff is kind of becoming a little bit less of an issue, but it's still an issue because it's not fully fixed. But there's these sporadic sort of releases, depending on what chips you're looking for, of course. But I'm sure there's always exceptions to this. But Behringer, for example, have just announced on their Facebook that they've got a whole bunch of chips in, and they're rubbing their hands together and going, "We're going to be releasing stuff soon, everyone." But okay, soon. Please don't use the word soon.
No,
but companies like Apple has problems.
Foxconn. Did you guys see the photos of Foxconn? I don't want to go into that conversation. That's like a rabbit hole. That is a complete another rabbit hole.
Because when I was about to buy the Organelle, I contacted this company over in Liverpool, and they said, the Organelle's discontinued. So I contacted Organelle Direct, or Christian Guattari, and said, my suppliers over here is saying it's discontinued. He said, "Oh no, it's not discontinued. What they're doing is, because they're in short supply, they've reduced the export ones. So if you're in America, it's probably fairly straightforward to get an Organelle. But obviously there's going to be less of them about in Europe and probably the rest of the world in the short term.
Yeah.
But it's not discontinued.
All right. Cool. All right. So, anyone else want to make a comment about the 201?
This little guy seems interesting. I mean, who doesn't want Dalai Lama on the go, right? So
that's the one.
Andy, I know that you're going to get
singing
this.
monk.
If you don't get this, I'm my mum's uncle.
Yeah.
If it's cheap enough, I haven't looked at the Kickstarter deal yet, but
$2.95.
The one thing though, that guy in the subway better be careful. He might get pushed on the third rail because he was pretty annoying.
Yeah.
So you don't want to piss people off in public. Put headphones on or something.
Yeah. The speaker's really good. The little speaker that comes with it is really good.
The original Organelle is pretty
speaker.
cool. Yeah, it's not as cheap as I would like. Although it's cheaper than TE stuff, but yeah, no, it's interesting little guy. So
these will be, Andy. These will be probably around the $500 mark when there's no more Kickstarter. So when they start releasing these normal, I think it probably tells you in there somewhere, but it'll really go up.
Right.
So the whole point of Kickstarter is to let's see how much we can get behind, and we can make a whole bunch at the same time. That's how we make a little bit of profit. But when they just go into the normal throes of daily business, they have to put the price up.
And these guys have a track record too, unlike the company I told you about that I have to send them a box so I can get my product shipped.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
They don't pay the post. They found out shipping costs too much now, and they can't ask for more money the way they set up the Kickstarter.
Should we pay their rent for them
so
as well?
A lot of people are not getting them at all.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And they finally emailed me back and told me that.
Yeah, well, the 201 they will ship anywhere in the world for free, which is quite a nice
part of the Kickstarter.
Nice touch,
they're a real company. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, it does make you think if you're right, Rance, and it goes up to say $500 for the 201, what's the Organelle going to be then at that point? Is it going to go up to $700? Well, I suppose it's $600 now, isn't it?
It's $600 now. Maybe $400. Maybe I kind of exaggerated a little bit. Like maybe say $450 or but it's still going to be a damn sight more than $295, right?
Yeah, I think I got mine cheap because obviously this company thought they were going to be discontinued, which maybe they sold it off. They were the cheapest in the UK. There's 5 places you can get it in the UK. Actually, one of them is just down the road, 20 miles away, but they didn't have any.
Actually, seeing the 201, it kind of makes me like the Organelle a lot better. Do you know what I mean? Like I have to say, I love it. I mean, interesting. I'm not the guy like usually likes these sort of buttons, but actually playing it, and I've been playing it for hours on end. They're all right, And I have plugged it into an instrument and other things. It works great. Are they rose maple or something? Are they?
They're maple. Yeah. I mean, they don't need to be maple, to be fair, but it's a nice touch. My only two real Yeah, my only two criticisms is, aluminium top, plastic bottom,
Yep.
and an American style power supply, which needs some sort of UK adapter.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good point, Chris said. Yeah,
Yes.
if the OP1 can go from 7.
And
yeah,
when I sold my second-hand used OP1 to fuel the basis of this show, I actually sold it for around about about $500 or $600 Australian, which is so cheap. Like if I just held on to it for another 12 months, I would have probably got $1,200 for it. Anyway, who cares? Yes. What are we going to do now? We are going to do Price Watch. We didn't actually do Price Watch last week, I don't think. Or maybe we did. I can't remember. Anyway, it's Auction Watch this week. Auction Watch. We're not going to go to there because we've done that. We're going to go to here. We're going to do some auctions, and these are going to be some very interesting products. None of these are scams. Okay, so don't get disappointed if you are looking for a scam. This is the Chiat Lombard Dogivox. Dogivox?
But don't get fooled. Most of it is only for the eye, not for use. Look it up. It's a small kit with a few functions. So don't get fooled. It looks nice. Yes, it looks very retro cyberpunk like, and I love that. But its functionality is not a big thing. It's only the design.
Yeah. Well, what I want to know is, what does it do?
Yeah.
Most
It
of
hurt-
the Lombard
it
stuff
hurts,
is
man.
specs and samples, but I'm not sure
It's a
about
s-
this one.
Is it like a...
Google it and Google Chiat Lombard Dodgebox, and you will find other versions of it with another design than this.
The best one they
Well,
make
you
is
will
a
see
Coco
what it
Quantus,
is.
but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always find these things insanely interesting. So, so there's the first one. Harvard for pounds. What are we looking at? 350 pounds, 340 pounds, somewhere around there. It might be an interesting thing. That's on Reverb. All these, by the way, will be linked in the blog article during probably in the next 12 hours. I think I'll release that, depending on how busy I am tomorrow. What about this? The Stroma Mutronics Ralph Jr., the modular synth. Look at this. How's that for beautifulness? Big fat letters up the top. VCO, VCF. You can almost just imagine that Vangelis song, was it? Multi-track suggestion in the background.
It's a nice chair. Does the chair come with it?
Yeah, it's a great chair. You might need the chair.
I think the chair's there to make the rest of it look good.
Yeah.
First
It's an oak chair, right?
We fucked up the first photo, so we're going to do the second photo the same, and the third photo is another angle of the same. And just in case you didn't see, it was a VCO. It is a VCO. It does
Comes
have
with a
some
free
interesting
blank panel.
Yeah, it does have interesting things in there. It's got linear FM inputs. It's kind of, yeah, I like that. I like it. It's quite a nice, kind of nice form factor to it. It looks very homemadey, doesn't it? Don't you think?
It has kind of a Paul Schreiber design to it,
Yeah.
with the big knobs and the jacks like that.
It's like, look, Mum, I made a synth. 927 Australian dollars, 1,000 Australian dollars, 500 pounds. What do you like? $700 US for that. And it's all the way in Brooklyn. No sleep till Brooklyn, according to the Beastie Boys. Yeah.
True.
What do you guys think of the Stroma Mutronics Ralph Jr.?
It looks like something Sam from Look No
It does, doesn't it?
Computer would.
It does.
Definitely does. It
Spot
could
on.
possibly be. They could possibly be kit modules from Electronics magazine.
Yeah, the 20 centimeter ones. Yep, you might be
I
right.
want to see the Ralph Senior.
Yeah, what happened to Ralph?
Yeah.
he wrecked it, apparently. Andy, he wrecked it. Wrecked it, Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah. there you go.
Yeah.
Let's keep going before I wreck the show.
Yeah.
What about this thing? The MMI Maxima Herzlich. Sorry, I'm really bad.
That's-
Herzlich.
I see 3D printing here.
Herzlich.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Henrik. Yes, I see.
Herzlich.
Heartlight, is that what that means?
Heart like, yeah, heartful.
Herz-
Um,
Herzlich. Anyway,
uh,
what is this thing? This looks like a whole
when
bunch
we
of
say
contact
Merry
stuff,
Christmas,
right?
yeah, Merry. You can say Merry. When we say Merry Christmas, it's Herzlich Weihnacht.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
So it's a merry contacty type box because it's got all that copper
Yeah.
contacty. It looks a little bit like the mutable ears, right? With the contacty stuff on there. I wonder what it does. There's a video. Should we play that?
Yeah, go for it.
This is a touch. I don't want to get strikes though.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. It's a touch controller. Okay, so basically, from what I can work out,
Okay.
you've got little symbols here on the left. These are all touch controllers. That's actually pretty cool. I like this. Should we sneak a little peek at the video?
Yeah,
It's
go
like
for it.
quadranted swarm with no sound, basically.
Okay, I was right. It's basically a mutable instruments ears. Wow, that is a steal. $241 Australian. I think I might be buying that. What is that? £120? That's pretty cheap for a little contacty thing.
Very Soma Labs, isn't it?
It is Soma Labs, yeah, or mutable or that sort of stuff. What do you think of that, guys? So, pronounce it again for me, Henrik. Oh, he's muted.
He's muted.
Damn.
Take a drink.
It's Herzlich.
Herzlich.
Haslick.
Herzlich.
Herzlich.
Maxima. Black and gold. Beautiful. Rush out and
I
buy
listened
that.
to a lot of Rammstein, so I have learned some German pronunciation. So.
These are really interesting, these auctions that are coming up at the moment. Like, I just, this week I thought, let's go with the interesting stuff. What about this? The Laytronics, Notron, nice little play on words there, MIDI step sequencer Mark 1. Apparently it's super rare. Just ask them, they'll tell you. 10,000.
Oh, Ken talked about this, the Darth Vader toilet seat.
The Darth Vader toilet seat. I remember this thing.
Yeah.
I remember this thing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get some photos up, hey. Brought to you by Soundgas. Hello, Soundgas. Yeah, I think if you're on the Darth Vader toilet seat, you're definitely making some gas. That's for sure. What does this thing do? Control selections, and they're all kind of like
This is a
notes.
step sequencer.
Yeah, notes down the side, waveforms to manipulate it. Very interesting looking. Weird looking design. It looks like one of those things from IKEA. And they've just like, oh, we'll build this on the IKEA thing, on the plastic thing from IKEA. It does.
Kind of looks like an epilady as well, the hair
That's the
remover.
underneath of it. It definitely looks like an IKEA thing. I would not be surprised. Someone in chat will be able to tell me. In fact, what is that? Oh, it's. I was
Or
just thinking with
something
the-
from a car.
Yeah, it might be something from a car. But there you go. Manufactured in the UK. See? You can get one, Ian. Just up down the road from you.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't think so, somehow.
Yeah. You're the only UK person here today, by the way.
I am.
Yeah.
Soundgas, because they were at Synthfest, and they have some really, really interesting stuff, but generally their prices are a little bit above what they should be. I don't know how rare these things really are, or whether you really even want them.
But do you want Darth Vader's toilet seat? That's the thing.
No.
It might make gas sounds. Yes. The under. What's that? Kev says the underside of a Dalek.
Yeah, yeah. It sticks with wheels on it.
Yeah. I think everyone would be in agreement with Daniel there. We like it, but not the price.
No.
Just so you can see what he says.
I'd like
We
to hear
but
it.
not the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there was a video. No videos. Just photos today. Sorry, chaps. Just photos. Right. I need to get the next segment ready. So why don't we jump over to the chatties, and what did you guys think was the best auction in Price Watch Day? We had the Chiart Lombard Doggy Vox thing, the Stroma Mutronics, what was it? Ralph Jr., the Herzlich MM1
Herzlich, yeah.
Maxima I'm still butchering it. Sorry, I'm just butchering everything. Yeah. What was your favorite in chat, people? Tell me while I log into my email account and get something. Because if I don't, we won't have the next segment. Really click on that, and hopefully it doesn't play. Oh, okay. I need to message someone. Just one sec. Okay. While I'm on that subject, Andy, you're a bit of a collector of these sort of weird gadgets and things.
No.
None of those things. None of those things are in your collection. I have beaten you, chap. Tell me why.
None of those in my collection. Well, a couple of those I never actually heard of before.
Yeah.
Occasionally
check
you pull
Discord.
one out of the depths there. So, yeah.
Chris, check Discord.
But the Doge one was kind of interesting. But
Yeah.
I wonder if you had to buy
The
use
Doge.
Doge coins to buy it when it first came out. But yeah,
Okay, Rants. I'll get onto that.
I should be on Discord more often. I didn't see that stuff.
Cool. When you've done that, Chris, just sing out and I'll click the refresh button. Monsieur. The refresh button. My end. Right, we're just doing things in the background here. What did you guys think of the mic? I brought the mic back. This is not new. This is old. This is an old new, right? I've had this before.
Oh, using a real mic. Look at that.
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Sorry.
Is it less
I hadn't
roomy?
noticed.
You're not hearing the room, right? You're not hearing echoes in the room.
Yeah, you know, hear all that extra. Yeah.
So that was the downfall. I mean, we talked about it before with Henrik, but that was the downfall with these things. It's so dynamic. It just picks everything up. It picks up all.
You need more panels on your wall.
I do. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. We are going to go into Black Friday discussions in a minute. So Andy, you'll get a chance to tell us about some of the deals you've got. I'll tell you about some of the ones I've got, and anything like that. I'm just waiting on Chris to do something for me, and then
Sorry, I got that. I've done that, Rants.
Here we go.
Okay.
Beautiful. Right. So what we're going to do now is not that. Whoops. We are going to press the stinger for this segment. Ready, set, go. Look at that sexy professionalism there, people. Look at that. Name That Synth is brought to you by Plugin Guru. By the way, Skippy's awesome, so make sure you do send him some love. Even if you don't win, we'll go and have a look at the Unity stuff in a minute. It's a really, really good bit of software. And he never complains when I send him emails saying, so-and-so's won. Can you send them free software? He never complains. So, I mean, you should be thankful for that. Anyway, Name That Synth. It's all about you guys listening to this video that's about to be played, and you've got to try and guess what the synth is until I say time is up. You've got a fair bit of time, but when I say time is up, that's it. Now, if you do guess it correctly, I will head you over to our special Name That Synth page on my website, and you can fill out your details. Because then you've won yourself a copy of Unity from Plugin Guru. And if you don't
Unify.
guess it, Unify. I always do that, don't I? I always do that. Fraudulent slips. Sorry. Right. We should play the video. Everyone's ready. I'm going to mute all the mics. Here we go. less than 30 seconds now, people, before I hit the time is up button. By the way, this isn't the synth. This is just my little timing thing. Enjoy. Yes, people, time is up. Look, I even hit it, and there you go. It's just popped on to the screen there. You can see where it says time is up. So your name here was the last person who submitted his entry, and I don't think it's a shocked-looking face. Just in case, if you think your synth is a shocked-looking face. Right, so I can reveal that the inventor, the creator, the artist, the extraordinaire is none other than this gentleman here, Makeshifter. It's Chris's video, so yeah, you can all throw your synths at the screen right now because he did that video. Let's see if anyone got it correct. Should we put them out of their miseries, Chris? Should we do that? Let's do it.
I think so.
All right, here we go. The answer is... Yeah. Roland JX03 Boutique 2016. Was that 2016? Wow, that's gone fast. That's gone past. Did anybody get it?
I had to look that up. Cresshead got it.
Cresshead got it. Well done.
Cresshead got it.
Well done, Steve. Good job. Good job.
I should have gotten it because I have one, but it's
JX03.
been in a bag for a while. So
Let's just go back and review. Let's review the replay. Not that one. Not that one. That one. Just in case. Yep.
Just check it.
Well, it's just scrolled off the screen. In fact, I could probably, if I was clever enough. Wow, all the characters are coming through really weird on this thing right now. That is bizarre. I don't know what's going on there. I've got my little my thing that I what do you call it? Highlight the messages with, and all the characters are bizarrely being displayed, like it's some sort of glitch.
You gone Windings?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just all like little squares and thumbs up characters and stuff. It's like someone's hacked into my software. I can't show it, but it definitely was Cresshead. So Cresshead, you're the winner. Has he won before? I can't remember. Has he won before?
He said he has. Yeah.
he said, yeah, he already won.
Says
Okay.
it has. So
Who's next?
we're up to
No.
anyone
no one
who
else.
guessed a boutique, maybe?
No. It means you've won it, Chris.
Again?
You've got the bragging rights, Chris. You can't win it
bragging rights
twice.
is fine.
You can't win it twice,
That's
but
fine.
you can wear the yellow Guernsey of pride this week.
Do I get a gold star?
I can give you a gold star.
So,
Yeah.
Give me a gold star. I'll put it on.
I'll head down to Officeworks and get a gold star and drop it off to you. Yeah. Yeah. That was good.
what-
That was really, who enjoyed that?
Oh, thanks.
It's good. And it sounded like Roland, but I couldn't tell you which one.
It definitely sounded like Roland.
Roland, yeah.
Wow, some of the videos, effects and stuff like that. I thought at one stage I kind of thought, is this a Hydra synth? Because it did have a bit of a digital sort of sound to it. Henrik's just gone black, and he's put his hand up. I don't know why.
I think he's saying, 1 moment, please.
One moment. Okay, cool. You're allowed to have a
Sorry.
moment. No worries. Next guy down. Yeah, there's no real next guy down, unfortunately. So that's 2 weeks in a row now where we've had Name That Synth, and we've tell your friends there's a Name That Synth thing. By the way, I should probably go to the website and help people
Unify.
and unify and stuff like that. Let's do that, okay?
Yeah.
What do you mean this site can't be reached? What's going on? What are you talking about? What happened to my website? Is my website down? Has it been hacked?
Well, it is Black Friday.
It hasn't been hacked because it's
got
coming
Yeah.
up. It's coming up on my other thing, so I don't know what's going on there. Oh, okay. It might be a... I don't know. Anyway, go to my website. I have no idea why my Mac's decided that it's not showing in the website. And there's a page on there called Name That Synth. You can have a check it out. While we're doing that, what I might do is head on over to Plugin Guru. Let's see if that works. It doesn't look like anything's working right now. Oh no, Plugin Guru is working. There we go. All right, let's head on over to Plugin Guru just to show people who the sponsor is of the segment. Because, look, at the end of the day, we do have a prize to give away. They actually are having a Black Friday sale right now too. So Unify is now in $59. So it's come down from $79. It's so cheap at $79 anyway. You might as well just pay $79. What was I going to do? I was going to play. There's a video on his homepage, wasn't there? That I was going to play. He always has the latest video somewhere. Where do I find it? Where's Henrik? Henrik, come back. Videos. There it is. Here we go. Check this out. Right. Full screen this thing.
We are in a dream state. This is a new library released for Black Friday.
Have I got two
just
videos?
show you a quick little
Have I got two
sampling
videos
of what
playing
is
there,
in this. It's just really, really cool library.
Hang on.
Beautiful, epic, dreamy, lush.
I got two videos playing. That's what was going on. I thought, what the hell? His lips aren't moving. There we go. Let's do that again. So this is Unify, people, if you haven't worked it out.
Even have getting into some groovy, fun things like.
That's John up in the corner. That's Skippy.
All sorts of things. So I just want to do a quick video telling you about the Black Friday sale that is going on at my site. This is the biggest sale of the year. So there's this new library, Dream State for Unify. It's also available for Novum. Included, if you own Novum from Dawsum, it's a really, really cool. Well, what sound do I want to blow you away with? Something like this is really beautiful. This is the plugin I sampled to make the Unify only version. So if you own Novum, you get these bonus patches that I created. There's custom artwork for all of the sounds, so check them out. That's one thing that's available. So on top of this, there is also available Omniverse 1, which is a library that I created for Omnisphere 10 years ago, December 4th. Goes everywhere. I still remember sitting and making it. This is back when Omnisphere was first released. This is actually the very first third-party library in.
Sorry, I'm just going to cancel the video. So you saw what Unify does, and you saw what amazing things it can do with, you know, bringing libraries together, patch management, you know, merging, layering, stuff like that. Sorry, something just flew in my eye just then. Big thank you from Wagoo, by the way, because I always seem to miss these before they scroll off the screen, for the chuff. Thank you very much for that, mate.
Love the chuff.
Love the chuff. We're happy with the chuff. Bring on the chuffs. And if you don't have chuffs, we accept dollars and we accept pounds and maybe even the odd favor. But yes, so Unify is on sale right now. So if you haven't got it, please do give Skippy some love because he has helped us out to have this segment called Name That Synth. And big thank you to Chris for doing the video today. I know how much effort he puts into them because I do them too. They look, guys, if you think that the videos that we do whatever, it might be too hard for you, you don't have to go to some massive amount of production quality. If you want to submit a very basic looking video for Name That Synth, I'm more than happy to take that. I just wonder why my website wasn't working.
I just go to town because I like showing off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
If you're good at something,
yeah,
why not?
Why not show your wares? Yeah, indeed. All right, why don't we talk about Black Friday since we've got through that segment? And chatties, join us too, please. We're going to be talking about Black Friday. Black Friday technically is over, I think, really, but it's the weekend, isn't it, Andy? You've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, right? So we're kind of going through it right now. So I'll start. So what did I get? I got well, I've already shown you. I've got the Waldorf stuff, the Mogofoga stuff. They're all those prices will go up after the end of Cyber Monday. And there's something else that I got. Oh, that's what we were going to check out. Did Strymon put their... That's what we were going to do live on the show. Did Strymon put their price up or down or not at all for this? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Here we go. There it is there. Still the same price as a VST.
Yeah. It's possibly due to the fact that they released so close to Black Friday that they just went, no, it's not the right cycle in our business model or something.
There's no...
Bit sad.
Maybe there's no codes or anything like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't know what happened to the browser just then.
I would actually rather like a company who have the same price all the time than putting them up artificially and then taking them down when there's Black Fridays and such. I would like the same price all year.
Yeah, but it's a business tactic. It's a marketing tactic.
Yeah, but I feel cheated if I don't get it to the cheap price.
Oh yeah, so do I. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It often leaves a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah. Look, I think originally, I think it was an original version of Ableton, or was it the upgrade? I can't remember. There was a version of Ableton that I got on a Black Friday sale, and I wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for the Black Friday sale because of the price. Because us poor Australians, we pay Australia tax here. Yeah, even for software which doesn't have freight. It's ridiculous, the prices. We pay basically exchange rate tax. It's crazy. We have this dollar that just doesn't have any weight overseas. I don't even know why we bother. We should just have a different currency here because it's not even worth having a currency here that just doesn't perform. There was 2012 was the only time in its history where it got to parity with the US dollar, and that was because the US dollar was so bad. The rest of the world were doing well, not just, it wasn't just us. So, yeah. Enough of my whinging. Okay, I'm going to go to Andy next because I know he's the big Black Friday dude. He's already shown us. Let's just do it again. You got the ARP behind you, the 2600 from Behringer. What else do you get?
Yeah, it was a good deal. It was $200 off at Sweetwater, so couldn't resist.
Yeah, $200 off.
$200 off, yeah. So it was like four something, pretty cheap.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a few other things that were on offer, but not stuff I was, I mean, the Wasp was cool. I might get a Wasp filter instead. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, so they had that. I got a bunch of stuff at Perfect Circuit, like utility modules that I've been waiting for. They always have a massive sale on all kinds of stuff, including modular. But they're in my rack. I don't have that visible here. But useful stuff. I need certain things I've been waiting to get. A couple things I really wanted to get, but then you have to, I don't have so much money to spend. So it's, and I go to HP because the damn thing is full again. So you have to worry about that. But yes, I got a couple modules. This guy, some software. A couple things are still in my possible inbox or shopping cart for a couple sites. But yeah, I'm definitely if I can't get the Korg deal, I'm not going to get that Korg one because I just bought the version 3 pack. I should get a deal on the version 4 since they only added like 3 or 4 modules to it.
Yeah.
You definitely
and
should get it.
So that's kind of stupid that they didn't do that easily. At least like everything else, I use graphic software a lot and stuff too. So I got some cool stuff from some other companies, and they did update their cart based on my previous purchases. So that's really how it's supposed to work. So I'm trying to think what else. The little Ploytech synth thingy. A couple of things still on the way. I'm drawing a blank on the other stuff, but I have some other software stuff that was minimal because I already have the Arturia collection. I already have the Native Instruments collection. All that stuff. And again, like you said, I bought in cheap with some like old versions, and then Black Friday to get the price up every time. So it's the way to go if you can hold out for the year. They often have another sale during the year, but it's never as good as the Black Friday sale. So
yeah, this is
I
the
would tell
time to
people to
get
wait.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the whole purpose of it is to get your Christmas shopping done. The prezzies for the kids and all that sort of stuff right now. This is, so then you've got another month to buy the turkey and whatever. Yeah. What about you guys? Who wants to go next out of Ian, Chris, and Henrik? Black Friday stuff. Henrik, right? We'll do you. Boom.
I got an upgrade of my Wavelab Pro from 10.5 or something to 11. It was pretty cheap, and I bought a voice from eMvoice, mVoice, which is it's a singing plugin with this voice I bought was a female voice, which you can program to sing on your songs in your DAW, and it can sound really natural. It can also sound very artificial. And then I got the Streichfecht, or what it's called, from Waldorf. The plugin.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Waldorf. Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a great plugin.
Yeah. I must say I'm happy. I'm glad that I didn't buy the hardware. Then I would have been really disappointed. This was cheap.
33 or something.
It's okay, but I'm not sure I will use it for much. I already have lots of synths, both hardware and software, which can do what Streichfecht does. But I got it. So I bought those 3 things. I could have bought more, but I have plans for some hardware here when I get my pay. So I didn't spend much this time on Black Friday.
Yeah, that's not bad though. That isn't bad at all. I think the Strike Tech thing, what is it, 30, 33, whatever it was, I thought was a really decent buy. Who else? Ian, what did you get? Did you get anything?
I only got one thing. I got the Arturia collection, V collection. I was interested in seeing if there was a decent upgrade for Ableton Live 11. I've got Ableton, I can't remember which one I've got now, but anyway, I've got one of the earlier ones. But it was still going to be nearly £400, and I thought, nah, I don't use it. I mean, if I use Ableton, I would use it with Max MSP, and it's a shame that it's only the 11 suite that comes with Max MSP. So I didn't go for that. I would have gone for the Cherry Audio GX80 had it not been for buying the Arturia with the CS80 already built in. And I have to say, the And the fact that the Cherry Audio's got the GX1 as well as the CX80 is still an interesting proposition. But I have resisted, mainly because I haven't got huge amounts of money at the moment. Christmas is coming.
The interface on that GX80 looks really complicated.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure people will enjoy tinkering around with it and everything. Yeah. I'm probably the same with you, Ian. I think because we've got the Waldorf Streichfett, that's the string machine there, and we've got the Arturia CS80. That's that. So you don't really need the two. But I mean, for those who don't, the GX80s are really good.
I forgot I got that too. That's a good plugin. Yeah.
And it's cheap at the moment.
And it's just cheap. Yeah.
Before I go to you, Chris, I do want to show everyone that there is a related deal, and that is last week we talked about the 185 sequencer, right? Remember that? Well, Rick Modular have got a sale on. Excuse me. Oh, you can use these codes here: the 185 kit and the 185 ASM. Sorry, I was just frogging my throat then. When you're checking out any of these products in his store. So, and there was a couple of really interesting modules. We showed the Vector Wave not that long ago. They make some really good stuff. So the 185, I actually didn't mention this on the show, and he actually jumped in on the comments of the YouTube stream and said, "Hey, I actually do a Eurorack sequencer that's based on the 185." Which I also invented. And it's the M185 sequencer. It's 420 euros, but once you actually take that 20% off, it comes down to a pretty decent price. It's about 300 and something pounds. So it's not.
That's what Native ES uses. You can also chain them together too.
Yeah. So with that 20% off, those codes that I showed you guys before, that actually becomes quite a cool thing. So I just thought I'd mention that too, because that was the other thing I wanted to mention before I forget. And then Chris, you're going to have what you got on Black Friday.
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to be the boring one because I did a lot of looking. I did a lot of looking and checking and got very disappointed, and then didn't really pretty much buy anything.
Oh,
I did.
You didn't check one thing. I bet you didn't check this.
I did. Oh,
you ready?
Which one? Okay.
I'm going to bring it up, and you're going to be surprised to know that this is actually going to be something that you may actually be interested in. You may not be. I'm just poking fun at you. But
I'll hear you.
These prices for Hydra
the Hydras, I
are
did
actually
notice them.
cheaper than they are in the US, and they're on sale in the US as well. So you can buy a Explorer for $719. Do you guys do the conversion right now in Google? Just go 719 AUD to USD, and you'll see it's cheaper than it is. And this includes all prices in Australia, by the way. They're not stupid like they are in America, where they don't include tax. They include all the taxes. This includes GST. All the taxes are included. So you walk in there with $719. You walk out with the synth. You're not walking out and then going, "Oh, hang on a minute. There's sales tax. There's a tip. There's some for my grandma." No, $719. You've got yourself a Hydrasynth Explorer in Australian dollars. And also the one that's really cheap is the standard one, the one that's next to it. $1,724. It's $475 off. That's a lot of money to take off. So if you're in Australia right now and you want a Hydrasynth, sorry to steal your little segment there, Chris, but I'll go back to you.
That's fine. I definitely did notice those and go, if I knew a bit more about them and I was in the market for one, this would have been the right time. But it's not always, doesn't always happen. I do have the Waldorf Strikefoot demo with the intention of buying the full version. And I just panicked then and checked. It is still 33 euros. So it wasn't just for Black Friday, at least. So, but I think I'll be buying that when we drop off the stream, just to make sure.
Yeah.
So no, that's definitely on my list. I did. I did check out what the whole 2 or so modular synth stores that we have here in Australia. One of them was doing a Black Friday sale, but it wasn't a heap off, and this wasn't really anything that was particularly tickling my fancy. So yeah, it's if you're into software, it's definitely pretty good here from here in Australia, as you perfectly demonstrated. Because I've been so far out of the software game, I'm a little bit rusty. And so I don't have the sharp eye at the moment for the Black Friday sales.
You're probably like me. You probably don't want to play with software because you've been playing it with it all day at work, right?
Oh, it doesn't go anywhere near work. I wouldn't let it. The one thing I do often partake of every year is Synthertex. They're a modular synth company. They do a Black Friday sale. The problem is I've pretty much bought everything they make, so I don't have anything more I can buy from them. Plus the shipping. They used to do free shipping, but they don't do free shipping anymore to Australia.
I love it when people do free shipping to Australia. It is the best.
It's gone, I'm afraid. Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever give it back. Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've got most of their range.
I'm sure
I've bought more in the past.
I'm sure everyone's got inboxes like mine where they just get hammered by all the Black Friday deals. Like my inbox is, it's getting hammered at the moment. But there are, like some people are saying in chat, that there weren't many hardware deals. But I mean, it's probably based on where you live. But I've actually noticed a heap of hardware deals where I live, in my country. So I mean, giving good old Store DJ a bit of love at the moment, but they've got quite a lot of stuff. Some of it's pretty insane. They're saying up to 55% off.
It's Perfect Circuit at a great sale. They always do.
They rarely discount that much at Store DJ.
Really.
And the thing that annoys me about companies like them is because they do a lot of business online. They should have, you know how like Gear for Music and places like that have a VIP thing. So when you log in, if you've bought so much with them, they keep a record, and you then qualify at a certain level that you become a VIP, and then you get immediate discount no matter what, whether it's on sale or not. And the cool thing about that is that you don't have to go in and for me to get something at a discount, I have to go into the store and go and like slap around the head store manager a few times, and so because he knows me, right? And then I'll get a discount. So these companies, they probably know this for sure. I guarantee you they'll know. But it'd be nice if you could log in and they recognize, you've bought a heap of gear from them over the years, so you should get a discount just for being a regular and a loyal customer. I mean, obviously not while it's on sale, but just during the year.
So it'd be nice not to have to haggle every time or wait for them to have a price drop, but just on their terms, basically. Sometimes you just want it now, so you pay a little bit more. We have to do at the moment.
So has anyone come across like this rolling out the door amazing price for something in Black Friday? Because I'm pretty sure last year there was something that we were talking about, but this year doesn't seem to be anything that's like really crazy. I mean, I guess those Hydrasynth prices are pretty good, but they're not crazy. They're good. I mean, even the Behringer thing, Andy, wasn't that much. I mean, I think it's been $200 off before.
Once in a while, but that one doesn't go on sale as much as the little modules do, like
right?
The Cat and the Wasp and all that stuff. So
Korg, if you're listening, maybe discount a bit more. That could be especially in Australia. So there's a company called CMI who distribute their gear in Australia. Tell them to stop taking so much of your profits and pass it on to the customer a little bit. That'd be nice. I haven't bought anything Korg in Australia for many, many, many years. Anything that I buy Korg now, I've bought overseas and imported it. Wow. Because I don't like how there's a company that middlemans it here and adds money. And they're not supposed to. So, I mean, Ian, I you're buying directly from Korg and you're selling directly to the customer, that's a different thing. But imagine if you bought from Korg and then you sold to another store. That's what CMI are.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I don't want to get into the margins thing, but the margins are not, the margins for a dealer aren't that great.
It's normal
in the UK.
Yeah, it's normal.
You know, so
some cases you might only get like, you know, around 5% or even less with gear, and there's not a lot of headroom. So if you've got a client who's kind of beating you about the brow with the price, you can't really move much on it, can you?
No. I mean, that's why we don't do that sort of stuff on eBay, because eBay would take all of the profit.
All the fees and things,
you know?
Yeah. Reverb would be the same.
So all that extra stuff. So you know, but that's not just here. I think that's probably across the
world.
Across the world, really. You know.
Well, back in the old days when I used to do IT products like laptops and gaming PCs and things like that, I used to do that. We had the same thing. We had like a very small margin that we'd buy from the distributor, and by the time it got to the hands of the customer, they were paying. You know, we're trying to be competitive. We're trying to be like less than what you'd see in the big retail stores, but they were buying stuff at prices that we couldn't even get. You know, some of the big retailers, because they buy nationally, and you know, it was just so hard. So I just stopped doing it.
I mean, I have probably said this before. I remember Zoom, not Zoom the video people, but the Zoom
the pedals.
who do the recorders. Yeah. When we had the bricks and mortar shop and we used to deal with them, we used to find that Gear for Music was selling them at less than our trade. Now, our argument was that, you know, we're a small retailer, but offer us the same deal, and if the same deal is to buy 30 units, then we're quite happy to say yes or no to that. But clearly what was happening there was they weren't offering us the same deals. They were doing special deals with the big guys. So, I mean, we just, at that point, because it's completely uncompetitive, you know, we just stopped dealing with them.
Yeah.
So that sort of business it did go on then, and probably still goes on now, you know. But hey ho.
Yeah. Well, now I just saw a little comment just pop up there. I just need to remove that one, and then we can not do that. I didn't want to do that yet. Sorry. Wrong button. There we go. Digitone was only $5.99 new, a lot cheaper than Digitact. She never understood that. Yeah. I never actually liked what Electron did with the Digitact, to be honest. If anyone was in my shoes where they've bought an Octatrack Mark II, which is what I did, it didn't have the big screen like the Digitact did. And then they brought the Digitact out, and it was a lot cheaper than the Octatrack. Yes, it missed quite a lot of features that the Octatrack had, but then they did firmware updates on it. And if you look at them now, they're getting pretty close to being an Octatrack. The Octatrack's still more powerful, but the Digitact's got the bigger screen. It's so much easier to navigate it on the bigger screen. It's really disappointing that they didn't just wait 6 months and bring an Octatrack out with a bigger screen instead of bringing that Mark II out. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like I don't understand some of the Electron pricing and product. It's confusing in the market. It's a little bit
So they still sell the Octatrack?
They still sell the Octatrack.
Nice.
It's
They
still
still
there
have the
for-
Octatrack with the new screen, right? With the negative screen.
Yeah, so that's what I've got, the Mark II.
Yeah.
It's the the grey one, not the black one.
Okay,
It's a little bit like Sonicware when they've released the sample track, which I've got. I haven't got it yet, but I've got coming. And then they bring out that lo-fi sampler. How many samplers do you want to have? Like maybe put the lo-fi feature on the sample track, and then you've got a lo-fi thing for all the. I don't know. It's just weird. Like businesses that make these kind of confusing decisions. Korg do it.
Products that are really close together in specifications, but you're wondering why they're running both lines together when they're so similar.
It's confusing
The
the marker.
12-bit one is one sample stretched across the key, so it makes sense to be a keyboard.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
old
you've got
school sampler style. So
yeah. So this is the thing. What I'm saying, like, but I see. Robbie says it does have a 12-bit sampling. I don't know what it's got because I haven't got one yet. So, but the problem is that I don't understand the other product, the Lo-Fi 12, when they've got the sample track. I don't understand it. Yeah, I know it's a different sort of what do you call it?
it's basically
User
a fancier
interface.
SK1.
Yeah.
I actually wish I'd backed the sample track now. I'll probably get one at some point in the future when maybe even second hand, but you know.
Yeah.
And I think at the time I did look at it, and I don't know why I didn't. You know, because the original price, the original Kickstarter price, you know, was a good price compared to what it is now. Was it $399 the normal price of it, something like that?
The Kickstarter price was pretty good. Yeah, I think it was around the 200 and something.
250, 240, I think Robbie said.
Yeah.
But I think if you buy one now, just it's $399. I think it's gone up to.
What I'm looking forward to,
I think.
You go.
So I was just going to say, I think the reason I didn't was I wanted to see reviews, and I wanted to see what, because that's the risk of a Kickstarter, isn't it? There isn't anybody. You've got their video on what it will do, but you haven't got any independent reviews. And I think that was my reasoning, that I wanted to see in people like your hands and Robbie and everybody who actually now got them to make that decision without actually getting my own hands on one, because that's normally how I would like to buy something. I'd like to go and try it out.
Yeah,
you know,
with some of these products you can't, because they don't have that market
exactly.
penetration yet. I mean, for me, the sample track, what sort of lured me into it was the simplicity of not loading samples, but creating samples. So I still haven't found utopia when it comes to the ease of just plugging some audio in, sampling something, and then that just blends into what you're doing on the fly. I think the Octatrack was probably the closest thing that got to it for me. But it still didn't do the real-time stuff properly. The sample track probably doesn't either. But the way I saw some of the earlier videos of the sample track, I thought, this is starting to look like a very interesting way of manipulating samples on the fly. I did like that. And so that, to me...
Actually, the fastest, easiest, cheapest way to go is Sample Whiz on the iPad by Jordan Rudess.
Yeah, but I can't work with an iPad. It just doesn't. Sorry,
I'm just saying it's portable.
Different.
It's cheap. It has old school sampling, modern time stretch, and granular all in the same app.
Yeah, but then you've got to use Bluetooth or USB-C dongles with it.
Oh well, yeah, but I already do. So you know, if you're in that ecosystem, you know.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I can't create music on an iPad. I've tried. But yeah. There's plenty of guys out there that do it.
Yeah, I've done
Robbie did say that there was a bit of a story about the sample track and the Lo-Fi, but he's not at liberty to say.
Wow.
Okay.
So maybe we'll find out one day.
Yeah, maybe we'll.
What a tease, Robbie.
Yeah.
No one mentions the SP404 Mark II. Well, we do mention it. I mentioned it not that long ago when I said to everyone that I had one for 6 weeks, and I tried one out and I didn't fall in love with it. So there you go.
I had this 303 and I never fell in love with that. I had the 303 was. I had it for a couple of years, used it a bit, didn't really fall in love with it, and was happy to move it on. You know.
Yeah, I didn't really get the workflow. I know some people love it. Yeah, it's interesting. Sampling is for me so far, the way the MPCs work is probably for my brain is probably the most understandable way of sampling. And then you talk to other people and they're like, they don't get it. Like, I can't use it. It's too hard for me. So, you know.
I should never. I used to have. It was a bit of a toy, but the Korg micro sampler.
Oh yeah, I
which
remember
was a
that.
keyboard
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it was really plasticky, and it was like, but actually, I should never have sold it because it was really good fun. I did sell
Yeah.
it to the guy out of Supergrass. Actually, he was the guy who bought it. But yeah, I know
It's
I
fun,
should
but
have
I was
hung on to that.
disappointed that the time it came out, it didn't have modern sampling. It's only old school.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think it was pretty lo-fi, right?
It was
Well,
lo-fi.
no, the
yeah.
quality was very good. It has
Yeah.
built-in chaos effects and stuff, so it's a proper
Mhm.
instrument. But it's just,
It looks
'cause
like
I sampled
a toy. Yeah.
Nova chord into it, and it sounded amazing.
Mm.
But its problem is you can't stretch it properly from one sample.
No, he could.
It gets all
It,
messed up like the
it
old
was,
days.
it was really. It was a real mess. Yeah, I remember trying to do
Yeah.
that.
See, that's the thing. Ah, cool. We got Dave. David's just come in. Beautiful. That's the thing with. Let me just put him full screen. There we go. And I'm just going to go.
You guys hear me?
We can. Are you
Yeah.
coming
Oh,
through?
Dave.
there you go. You can see-
Yep.
Let me just bring him
Hey,
in.
you guys can.
I'm just going to bring you onto the
Yeah,
screen.
but
David's just
Can I
joined
just-
us. Yay, on StreamYard. I'll just put the link in again
Yay.
for. How you going, David?
Hey, David.
Hey, David.
Good, good. You hear me okay?
Yeah.
We can hear you
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, you can hear me.
Oh, good.
Where's the cat?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Look at my studio. Ah, I can see my own stuff. I'm checking out my own stuff.
Checking out yourself.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good, Dave.
I find that everything looks different in the studio because it's left to right, right to left.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
we say
I
in
know.
Australia, David. Is you seem to be a good-looking rooster. That's what we say in Australia, right? So you're checking out yourself.
Not as good as the gear, but yeah, sure. Yeah, my table keeps revolving there. The grandmother just came up this morning. I had my little Moog little 3-tier thing, but I don't have the tier, so I've got 3 of them like lined up because I was hoping to find a sale on the little tiers this Black Friday, but they won't let me do it. I've tried every place trying to get $8 off.
Wow.
But
Beautiful.
I'm waiting for the sample track, so I'm another.
You're another waiter. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you with me on that too? Like, did you kind of get pulled in on that workflow? Because it did kind of seem pretty cool, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't really have a little sampler right now, so I'm actually kind of excited to throw that in, see how I can get it to work with everything. So, and I gotta sample my cat. I got a lot of obligations because I can't ship. Theo's got to get on there. Gonna make some sample packs. But yeah, I haven't
Every
really found
studio
much.
should have a cat.
I've got a
I got
dog.
few-
Does that count?
Ah.
Yeah, I've got a studio dog.
Yes, it does count. It does count.
You've also got a wolf.
She's a bit cat-like. She's a little cavalier, so they're very petite and cat-like. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't found much Black Friday wise that I've been real excited about. I just don't think there was no great deal, for me at least. And I'm not interested in software at the moment, even though I could be. I don't use it. I buy
right. Yeah.
it. But it's a great deal. I agree with Ian. I think the Arturia is much better, intriguing, than the Korg stuff. It's unfortunate, but Korg just they're stingy with that stuff, aren't they? They make some really great values with the hardware, but for some reason with the software, they're really tight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the M1 would probably be their most popular VST because those M1s are still cooking out there in the actual hardware ones. But for those who can't get their hands on a hardware one, those famous 90s piano techno sounds, that was all Korg M1. So that would probably be their most used VST out of that collection. No doubt in my mind. Across the world. I mean, for us, we're all synth guys. We probably wouldn't. We'd probably play around with all the other cool stuff, but worldwide,
Wave Station, that's a good one.
Wave Station's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I've sold a couple of M1s, and I used to have a rack-mounted M3R, which was an M1 in a rack, and I used to have all the cards as well. But when they brought out the iPad version, I sold it because if I need those sounds, I'd never ever bother try to program the damn thing. But if I needed those sounds, I had them on an iPad because I just bought all the virtual cards as well. At the time, you know.
Yeah, they're
And then
gadgets.
sold the M3R.
Yeah, exactly, David. The
Yeah,
gadgets
it's
were
good.
really cheap,
Yeah.
weren't they? So I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like they should blow those out sometimes during these sales. I think people would really jump on it. There's got to be a way they could connect that better with their newer hardware stuff. I just feel like
Yeah, they did at one point
little
in the past. Because
frosting.
when I bought I bought most of the iPad apps, and I bought them all together. And it was it wasn't a Black Friday deal, but it was a deal that they did at some point where you could literally get. I think I spent probably 40, 50 quid on all of them. I didn't buy the Electribes. That was the only thing I don't think I did buy, but I bought everything else. You know. And they were really, really good value at that point. You're right, Dave. They do need to do that sort of deal, you know.
Or like blow out the Electribes or something. Do something really cool. You know, get people kind of reinvigorated with them because they're kind of stale now. It seems like, you know. But
Yeah, I mean they Korg need to make hardware, right? They need to make you know Triton or something like that, so that people. You know, they make all these kind of little mono synths and, you know, the ARP stuff, and they need to remake some of their stuff that they made back in the early days, because they made some amazing, you know, analog poly behemoth synths. You know, they were cool, those synths. And I know they're probably engineering marvels, and they probably think, oh my God, no, I'm not going to want to get near a soldering iron with one of those. But, you know, get some engineers to look at the schematics and go, right, how can we modernize this? How can we make this today with today's electronics? Let's make all the signal paths still be analog and all that sort of stuff. People will jump on it. I know they've tried with the Minilog and then the Prolog, but I think they really didn't quite nail it. I just think they just weren't quite there. They were good synths. Definitely Minilog's a really cool synth, but I think some of that retroness needs to come into it, right? How do you guys feel?
I mean, I certainly, because Korg came and demonstrated the Prolog when the Prolog first came out, and I have to say I was pretty underwhelmed by it, really. You know, I thought the Minilog when it came out, we've had this conversation before, was great. You know, and you know, I was, and even the monolog, you know, for what it is, for the price of it, it's really good value. You know. But they do need to. I always thought Korg were sort of really inventive, and they're not alone in this, because, you know, let's face it, what have we had recently from, say, Casio or Roland or anybody really, or Yamaha that's really, really different? We've not had anything, have we? You know, and
just the
maybe
drum,
Korg
the drum log. That's really all we've had. Isn't
it? Yeah, the Drumlog is the first time in quite a while that they've done anything different. You know.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to see that before Christmas, apparently.
Yeah. I'm just seeing a comment here from Wagoo about the Prolog. I just want to share that with you guys. Here we go.
Yeah.
So the Prolog 16th completely dried up in Europe. I heard something about the power supply unit not meeting the EU standards, and he goes on to say it's what did you say? It's dubious if was ever switching input voltage from. Okay, yeah. So when you've got your different countries, you know, 110 volt, 240, 220, they have switching voltages to down volt or up volt depending on that situation. So that might be the issue with it. Yeah, I didn't know about that. It's interesting.
No, I didn't either.
It might explain, like, sometimes you get some quirkiness with analog gear, right? When, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, like you've accidentally plugged, say it's got a 9 volt wall wart, and you've chucked the wrong one in, and it's got the right polarity, and so nothing goes wrong, and it still lights up, and then you think, hang on a minute, that doesn't sound quite right. Maybe it didn't have enough amps, enough current in it, right? So these things voltages and power supplies can really make subtle, you know, differences to analog synths, and yeah, he could be onto something there. There could be some power issues with it.
Well, at least the Prolog series had a better key bed than the Minilogs, which were terrible key beds.
Yeah.
Oh, for
That is
playing,
true.
absolutely.
Also, the
yeah.
Prolog 16 had a good audio stage with the analog VU meter was pretty cool.
Mhm.
So I like that.
I mean, certainly the UK power, we're 240 volts, but it fluctuates wildly apparently, and it's probably the same in other countries as well. You know, so
You got to have conditioners if in your studio if you're worried about that stuff, because you will pop gear. It will just pop. You'll get the magic smoke coming out the back of it. That's happened to me. I've lost a heap of stuff over the years.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Nothing
live in
like
Florida,
that
you have to
smell.
have UPSs for the spikes and for the power outages.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Where I live, I'm lucky. We don't usually get very many power outages. We're pretty lucky here in my city. We've actually got a pretty decent power company here. They've got their shit organised, but other parts of Australia have not. They've privatised it in some parts of Australia, and it's gone to the hell basket in those other parts. But where I live here, it's still government controlled, and we've done smart things like we reserved gas when all the world were like importing gas. We actually export gas here, and we said no, we're going to keep some of the stuff that we export. And smart we were to do that because we've got plenty of gas, which powers a lot of the turbines, right? So that keeps the power on, which is a good thing. I think synthesizer owners should be worried about power. I think it's a really good discussion to have with yourself. Like, what am I doing in my studio to stop a brownout, to stop a power surge? That sort of stuff is a really good conversation to be having. Don't just trust the back end of your synth to be handling it, the fuse, or maybe it's got some surge protection in it. I don't know. Don't trust it though, because you want to protect that. I know, Henrik, you said to me once you had some sort of power conditioning there, didn't you? You were talking about it before.
No, but I have everything connected in groups and only having those on which is needed. So many synths are not connected all the time. So
what powers your part of the world? Is it coal or is it nuclear? What's powering your lights there at the moment?
Oh, it's almost about sometimes about 50 or 60% is wind power, and then we still have some coal and solar power, but it's about 50% coal all year, I think.
Yeah. So you've got the
but
renewable offset. So you got 50% renewable offset, and you got 50% coal.
Yeah. But we are working on I can't remember the targets, but we have our goals. But we have some plans to reach. We have some goals to reach within the next 10 years, which are very, very positive for the environment. But let's see. Everything is changing at the moment because of the war in Ukraine, and we don't know where it ends.
Yeah, I mean, where we live, you'd think solar power would be the duck's knees, right? Because we have sunshine, especially with my city. It's what 80-90% of the year it's sunshine. You don't get very much cloud, and solar panel would. I could cover my roof with solar panels. It would probably, easily cater for 70-80% of my power usage. And if we sort of cut back a bit and we're a little bit sort of more conservative with things here, we could probably get it to 100% if we wanted to. And then you've just got to cater for that 10 to 20% of the year where it's going to be erratic, and then you've got the grid for that. But even still, there's other ways, right? There's other things you could do. But what worries me about the future, especially for us synth heads, right? Because we love electricity. That's our world. Our electricity flows through those devices that we love. What worries me is when the governments are sort of going 100% renewable, 100% green, you're going to probably see very volatile power supply over the next, I reckon, 10, 20 years, depending on how quick your area embraces this. Because as they go on board, like if they turn the big coal turbines off, the big gas turbines off, and they go complete renewable, solar, wind, whatever, that's going to be it's going to be an interesting time, because things are going to break. They're going to not be as reliable. It's going to be a discussion that the governments are going to have with the people and the industries, and you're going to have almost overkill with renewables, right? So that there's so much overlap with the renewable stuff that if any of it sort of drops out, because they will, right? Is that going to affect the customer at the end of the day, the household? And I just find this going to be really interesting times ahead. Probably more in Europe than anywhere else. Europeans are probably going to see this the most.
Yeah, but Europe and Scandinavia, we are sharing energy. So when we don't have enough in Denmark because of the solar power, wind power, to not enough wind and sun, then we get some from either Sweden or Norway, which is produced by water, or we get some from Germany, which is produced by nuclear, and so on. So we buy and sell between countries, so we always have enough. So it's not only about what we have, it's also about what our neighbors have, and we share.
Yeah.
There's a side benefit for going with mobile devices as much as I can, because since they're also DC powered, I can use all kinds of options for batteries and other kinds of stuff, and not have to worry about AC power all the time.
Yeah. That's the thing, like things that have got batteries in the back, like, and the way that they're wired, like a laptop, right? The way it's wired is that they constantly will be powered off the battery. So it doesn't matter whether it's plugged into the wall or not. It's always going to be powered off the battery. So if you are charging it, or if you've got a power surge, that they usually are protected by the battery circuit, which I like. I like that sort of technology. That's why I like the MPC Live. I was going to quickly.
Also, this guy's DC power.
Yeah, it is too. Yeah, that he's just pointed to his 2600. I think he do you actually pat it as well? No, I did for a bit. We've got. There's lots and lots of people worried about this stuff. Like, where was Mez said something along the lines of, people sort of being a little bit over the top with scaring people out of some of the older systems like the gas or the coal or even the nuclear, scaring people out of that when they're completely some pretty sound systems. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting time ahead, I think. Probably, maybe not fully sorted out by the time we part the world, but it's over the next probably 30, 40 years, I'd say it's going to be some interesting times ahead.
We were warned when the war in Ukraine started that we may get some power surges, power breaks here in the winter time. But it seems it's not going to be that bad. But that was the reason why I bought my MacBook Pro. It was to have a computer where I could, where I had battery if we lost the power, and because I needed a new computer, of course, but I could have bought an iMac. I chose a laptop instead because of that.
Yeah.
We can also we'll just have to jam like at 2 a.m. till like 6 o'clock.
Off peak jams.
We have to adapt,
Off
right?
peak.
We're not getting rid of our stuff.
Yeah.
But
hey,
that's what I think.
I'm playing on my Novation Peak. off peak.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, right? It's a good name for an album. Peak off peak.
On tonight's off-peak jam, it's Ramsey.
Darren's already using candlelight. I put the comment up before. We could have like hamsters in a wheel powering our synths with candlelight. It would be funny, wouldn't it?
The ultimate analog.
Yeah. Someone said to me, one of my friends said to me, like looking at the Eurorack, right? And he was, we were just looking at this thing, and it's just kind of craziness, right? He's looking at this. How much power does that take? I mean, look at all those lights blinking, and like that must be chewing up so much juice. And it's not. It's what is it? Four separate little DC power supplies powering this thing. It's very little power. It's nothing,
Just point to your nearest OLED TV.
Oh yeah, I don't have
Uses
one.
way more power.
Yeah, I don't have one of those here. Yeah, I haven't
Refrigerator.
bought into that yet. What were you going to say, David?
Oh, I was going to say your refrigerator, your
fridge,
refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Those space heaters? Oh, my God.
yeah,
Awful.
yeah.
I can't
See,
even.
We're pretty green, us synthy people. I mean, yeah, we consume power, but it's pretty green. It's not big power. It's DC. It's small currents, right? Small voltages. Yeah.
Depends whether you're running your aircon or not.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. We have
Because that's the thing. It's surprising. It does generate quite a bit of heat in here when I switch out everything on. Whew.
Yeah. Well, in here right now I don't have any fans on or air conditioners. And I've got a little bit of sweat happening. And it's 17 degrees outside. So it's not exactly 17, by the way, is cold, for those wondering. Some people think that's summer, but no, it's cold.
It's summer here, I can tell you that.
Yeah, 17 degrees in Australia is cold. Because we used to like temperatures being around sort of 30 in summertime. It's about to hit summer here now, so we've only got a couple of weeks to go. It's summertime here. 17 degrees is cold. But in this room with all the synths, and I've got like something like 5 monitors turned on and lights and stuff, it's warm. It's warm in here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm about to head into the next few months where I'm going to have to crank the air conditioner just to do this show, because otherwise I'll be dripping in sweat. Sorry for all those people who are against air conditioners. But yeah, synths like them.
You'll have to increase the level of your noise gate.
Well, I'm impressed with this. Is the RX9 voice denoise that's on here, and from what people are saying to me, it sounds, there's no more roomy sound coming out of this. It's not, these aren't the best microphones in the world. These are the Rode NT1s. I mean, you could probably get the Shure, what are the Shure SM7s or whatever they are, but they're like 3-4 times the price. And I don't really know if it's going to add. What it will probably add is just a little bit more frequency range on my voice. And on a YouTube stream, do we really need that? It's a YouTube stream. It's got compression. It's got, we don't
Get the
need
dulcet tones. You got to get it out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't
For
really
the
have that
ASMR
radio
boys
voice.
and
Yeah.
girls.
Australian accent with a radio voice. Don't think so. Not very good. Not very good at all. Yeah.
Hey, but
So,
speaking
David-
of voice, before I forget, Henrik, what was that plugin you were using for the vocal
Okay.
thing?
One
You,
sec.
For the what?
you had a vocal thing you said you got for Black Friday. What is that called?
M-Voice.
M-Voice. Okay, I remember seeing that
voice
before.
in one word.
Yeah, the female
It's
one
very
sounds
good.
better than the male one. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's like a voice changer pitch thing, is it?
No, it's a voice generator, right?
No,
It's like a virtual voice.
Yeah, it's AI sort
Yeah.
of
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Okay. I'll have
performer,
to check it out.
virtual performer. They used to be really big in Japan on Japanese pop music in the early days.
I mean, Vocaloid is still popular. Hatsune Miku is still a major pop star over there. But-
Might be a way to get vocals in my music, because bugger paying for a singer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I told someone the other day about the Miku stomp pedal, because it used to be like $120. Now it's like, I heard it's over like $400
Oh,
now.
stupid price, aren't they? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're crazy.
So funny though. Really funny.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
yeah.
great. I even have the stylophone version, the Miku stylophone with the little stylus.
Excellent.
Oh, really? As a pedal?
No, a little stylophone. You know, a little.
Oh, just by
with
a
the stylus.
xylophone. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the Vocaloid stuff in it. Yeah.
Now, I wanted to grab David because
but-
he's on StreamYard, and we don't often, get people on StreamYard. David, do you want to just do a little... You don't need to move your camera or anything, but do you want to just do a little... I've got this in my studio tour, so I can see your mother, your grandmother.
Yeah.
I can see the little Eurorack case there. I know you're expanding on
Yeah.
that little world.
I'll start by prefacing this is not everything I have.
Fair enough.
I would- I don't say that proudly either. Yeah, right here, right next to me is my table. That's kind of where that's my jam area, and it does kind of it does change. You can see a Zoom live track kind of in the background there, beyond the Create audio units. That's kind of my brain. So I record to that, and then if I really want to, every once in a while I'll take the stems and move them to the computer or the iPad. But I use that. That's pretty much my brain right now, and I really love it. It's got some actually decent effects on there. That's the Zoom. For modular right now, I got those. You can see the two nifty cases. I like to kind of break my little systems down in the playable unit, so you can't see what's in there, but there's some mutable instruments. You can see a little bit of the Dreadbox chromatics. What else is in there?
Did you get the little joining ears for it? Did you?
Yeah, it's a cool little system. I actually, you can power them separately too, which I actually kind of like. So, I like the nifty cases. They're pretty easy to work with. You
Same.
can, and they're relatively deep. So you can fit the Dupfers and some of the others in there. So that's my modular. I just pulled out my I had the subharmonican and a STG boat that has a bunch of the WMD percussion modules. Actually, I got them right here. This is cool. So, excuse me. I don't know if I can show you this. Still got all the cables. So this is the STG boat, right? But it's the oh my god, I gotta figure this out. Yeah, there you go. Can you see the I've got the WMD percussion ones in there and a little Doppler mixer and the magneto. So this is really cool. You can just basically, that's what I was saying. I got the subharmonican, and then I was like, well, I'm going to get the tier, and I got that. So that's really cool. Those WMD modules are absolutely fabulous, and I got them, unfortunately, because they're going out of business, so they are blowing them out. So probably another instance where it's a little cheaper in the States because the shipping's not really an issue. They're about maybe 45 minutes from where I live, so
cool.
So I get them pretty quick. but yeah, so I just put the grandmother back. That's always a really easy thing to integrate with the modular. Really awesome. I like just real easy, real playable, and the keyboard's really nice. So I got that all set up. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little Hawken Slim right behind, right on the edge of the table there, the little red strip.
Yes, at the front.
Yeah, I got that. I wanted to kind of explore their stuff. I was going to get the module, but it's really a cool little synth. The sounds are amazing, and you got to work with I don't know if I can pull it out. It's let's see if I can pull it out. Got everything taped. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if anybody's got one of these, but this one's got the upgraded little thing here, and it's really important to get that because you can kind of control this pad a little bit. So you can basically, if you lift it up or down, you can get different parts of there's axis. So it's really like you can get different textures, but I'm actually looking forward to getting the sample track and sampling that because it's a little hard to play it live, but there's some really interesting timbres. to work with. And I kind of find that when you're using that, you kind of remember what acoustic sounds like, you know, and then I'll get on the synths and play, and I'll be like, boy, this doesn't have nearly the texture that this Hawken has. So yeah, that's a cool little piece. I generally, and then we'll do the rack units for Wagyu, because gotta give him some props for that. I've got you can't tell, but there's a Roland Det 5 and SDE SDE 1000, the delay unit, and then that lower, cheaper Lexicon in there. So I rotate those out. I've got some Effectrons too that I love, the old digital ones. So yeah, so it's all kind of tied together. It's a nice little jamming area. And then I got the computer behind it. But yeah, that's my basic system. You can see my drum kit too. I got that. That's the Roland. I actually play that, just the pads, a lot. I don't even turn it on. I just like to jam and play it. It's quiet. And but when I record, I can, you know, hook it up to everything. So I guess that's it. There's my Nord. The Nord sitting in the little southeast corner there. That's Nord Wave. Just don't really have space, because I got my studio is my office too. So that's one of the regrettable parts of COVID, was I lost a big chunk of my studio to COVID. So, but hopefully I can set that all back up at some point. So, and then the computer, I've got, you know, my iMac back there, but I really haven't been using it. And there's a mic Mini Freak back there too. So I just got that. So yeah, all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just
interesting. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for the tour.
Now, just a sort of little bit of breaking news. Henrik, which is just next to me here, he's just told me that he's releasing a new album on Friday, and I have been given a little sneak peek of it, and I'm going to share that with you guys. So we're going to play just a little bit of each, because otherwise we'll get a copyright strike. So just maybe 10 seconds and have a break. So we'll just hit this one first. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Henrik, do you want me to play a bit longer, or do you reckon that might be...
I think 10 seconds is the limit. Then you get a strike.
Yeah.
So below that, but
well, not a strike, but a claim, right?
It's a claim, yeah.
Yeah, claim, yeah. But nothing will happen with that claim.
There we go. So there's a very, very extremely brief taste of his new album called Electromare, coming out Friday. But do check it out.
That's one.
It'll be on Bandcamp, right?
There's one song. Yeah, there's one song. If you show the playlist again, there's one song which is inspired by a guy in a White House some years ago. It's number 4.
Clown in the house.
Clown in the house.
You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to play it. It's just inspired by Trump. So
I'm just trying to come back, so you'll see what happens.
Yeah,
it's full of fake news, is it?
Then I will make the Clown in the House part 2.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's that part. We're just sort of tidying up a few loose ends now for the show. I don't know what happened before. I couldn't access my website before, which was weird. But I do want to quickly tell you guys the website. The reason why is because if you do want to find out more about Name That Synth, it's a link there on the menu. You can click on that, and it tells you how to actually become a video contributor. So there's a whole bunch of information there on how to submit a video, how to go about it. A lot of people ask, how do I submit a video? There you go there. So there's all information about Name That Synth. Now, every week I do a blog article with the show, so you can see that one's ready to go for tomorrow. But I'll just show you last week's. We did the 185 format sequencer. Everything in the show that we talk about, including the guests, link to the guests' socials and YouTubes and things like that are in there. Video replay if you want to watch it. All the funny side comics are in there. You've got all the news, links to the news, prices, everything's there. This is just a real quick scroll through, so do apologise if you're getting a bit dizzy, but you can watch this at your own leisure. And sometimes we might put some more stuff down the bottom at the Saturday Sonority area, depending on what we're doing. I might actually update that and put the Rick Modular stuff in there because I thought that was pretty cool. But the 186 episode will be probably live on the website within about 12 hours. I say, depends on what family rubbish I've got to put up with tomorrow morning when I get up. It's about to hit 12 o'clock. It's about 10 minutes to go here. And a big thank you to the chatties. And Wagoo's put another chuff in. He's done double chuffs today. He's chuffed twice. Thanks for that. By the way, it says keep it up. If you can't see it on there, but it says keep it up, and there's a little something dancing. I think it's a chicken or something, which is pretty cool. So
I think it's a pear, a blue pear.
It's a blue pear?
That is weird.
A nice pear, yeah.
It's the pear-shaped character, as they call it.
Now, I do take a little bit of pleasure in, sometimes I do check to see who's clicked on like on the videos and stuff like that. Notice there's only 25 likes today, so if you do happen to, it's free to do it. If you happen to like today's stream, do click on the like button. It does make me a little bit happier. Also, these guys here, they all say to me, no one liked us because no one clicked like. It's StreamYard it's still there, so I will be doing that every week. So do get used to it. So David's been awesome to come on to StreamYard and be part of it. And David, just give them a little bit of feedback. It's a pretty seamless experience for you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was super easy once I found the link. But yeah, no, it's easy once you get it set up. It's as long as you got a video on your computer,
yeah,
I encourage people to do it for sure. It's cool.
And you're right in the show now. You're right part of it, so we can bring you up. Yeah, I've got my little Stream Deck controller next to me now, so I'm all feeling sexy. JX3D's got his hand up.
Yeah, I gotta go. We have a match to play against France, so
beat them. Please
beat
them.
What happens?
Please beat those buggers.
Yeah.
We're going to end the stream as well, so. So big thank you to you can head off, by the way, Henrik. But big thank you to everyone who's on the stream today. Starting with we'll go from the right to the left. So we'll start with David, who we just had just quickly, who was on StreamYard. Thanks, David, for being part of the show, mate. It's nice to have you here and contributing and everything, and a nice little tour of your studio. By the way, I didn't mention I liked the jellyfish on the wall there. I like the jellyfish. It's cool. Yeah, yeah. So,
IKEA.
I thought it was. Yeah. Big massive thanks to Chris. Chris, you done a wonderful effort today, being the stalwart rock in the corner with the Name That Synth segment. You did really, really well again as usual. And also it's absolutely awesome having you here. We're about to turn into pumpkins, so we're gonna.
We have to sleep sometime.
Yeah. Going across to Ian. Ian, awesome to have you. Geez, your video is nice and clean today. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All the way from the UK.
I don't know why. It's
Maybe
the same as it always is.
She's not on YouTube right now.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
But thanks. This was great, as usual.
Yeah, it's really nice to have you, mate, and I appreciate you being on. I think Henrik's gone, but so we'll do Andy next. I think Henrik's gone. Yeah, he's gone. You can have a look at the freeze frame in a minute of Henrik leaving. Andy, nice of you to get up at what we call sparrow fart here in Australia. Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of sleep, I'll have to go back shortly to get some sleep. A couple quick things I forgot to mention. David mentioned WMD. Definitely check out their Geiger counter if you like weird distortion effects and noisy stuff for modular, or there's a guitar stomp box as well. Mm-hmm. So that's a really good product by WMD. Also, the other day at my favorite local store, I picked up Yamaha A3000 old sampler, which has some crazy effects on it, and I got a Rex 50 as well, so noisy effects, which will be fun.
I got that with my Lexicon MX200, whatever it's called. I get noisy,
and I don't have a synth cap, but I have a little Anubis. I have an Anubis buddy here today. Anubis.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Ah,
So no cat in my studio, but I have Anubis. So
Yes.
That's
watching over me from the underworld. So
Yeah, from the Egyptian pharaohs or whatever they.
yes.
Yes. Yes. And big thank you to the chatties who are part of the show. Awesome to have you. I did notice that the like count did go up a little bit, so thank you for those who were kind enough to do that. Awesome to have you guys in on the show as well, as you always are. It was like I said to you the other day, it warms my heart to see a lot of you have been following the show, for over 3 years. We're about to hit 4 years. Just after the New Year's, we'll be celebrating our 4th birthday for this show, and I think that's a pretty incredible thing. On a personal level, that's an incredible thing for me to stick it out something like this for this long. I didn't think I was going to, so I'm still around. So we'll still do shows next year. Don't worry about that. Enjoy your Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Say goodbye, everyone. Toodaloo.
bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.